And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the most famous words and long-awaited words in racing, here's your Grand Marshal, Cliff Pennell.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
After 2 weeks and nearly 6,000 travel miles, the NASCAR Winston Cup cars are about to be unleashed on the longest and fastest stock car speedway under bright sunny skies and warm temperatures.
We're running in the groove, running hooked off with the setup just about right. We're gonna roll, roll on outside.
As these 43 cars get set to roll out of sight, get ready to see a 500-mile fight. You learn very early who your friends are. They're the ones that say, sure, I'll follow your car. While the drivers are dicing out on the track, the crew chiefs are dealing. Hey, let's all pit as a pack. Cooperation's the key, drafting's the game. One ill-timed move can ruin a driver's good name. But when the white flag waves, put the rules on the shelf. Grab 2 handfuls of steering wheel, because then it's every man for himself.
I'm gonna drive like I'm the only driver and the track is all mine. I'm gonna run till the finish line.
On the restrictor plate tracks, you can look for 3 guys to take the high road to get their way back into victory lane. Dale Earnhardt, Sterling Marlin, and Ernie Irvan. Ernie Irvan is a 2-time winner here. Between the 3, 16 wins in the 37 restrictor plate races. Sterling Marlin, the defending champion of this race in the last 9 restrictor plate races, he has won 4 times. And how about Dale Earnhardt? He is the man on a mission. Dale has not led a lap since the Daytona 500. He's looking to find his way back to victory lane today as he starts 3rd.
I gotta keep that shine right up, keep that rubber side down. I gotta get on the track, gear up and go. We're gonna gear up and fly. We're gonna gear up and fly.
Let's get one thing straight. This is a dangerous and spectacular sport. Talladega, perhaps its most daring track. It's definitely its fastest. What does a driver feel when he comes here? Fear, maybe a little, maybe a lot. But to win here at Talladega, a couple of things have to happen. You have to stay out of that one vicious wreck that everyone feels is definitely going to occur when you have fast cars in a big pack. The thing is, no matter how good you are at Talladega, you have to be lucky to win here.
Hello, everyone. Let me introduce you to Dr. Ned Sherritt. Today, an honorary doctorate bestowed on Ned at Lenoir-Rhyne College in Hickory, North Carolina. Congratulations,
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the Board of Trustees at Lenoir-Rhyne College for bestowing that honor upon me. But, boy, we got a race shaping up here today.
And, Ned, just seems like always there's one huge crash during the race.
Well, it seems it's that way, Ben, and we hope that it won't happen today. But the cars run so close together here at such high speeds, and when there's a little bit of trouble on the track, it's usually not a one-car wreck. It's usually bigger than that. Let's hope it don't happen today. Just some good, hard racing, a lot of passing.
Well, you always expect surprises at Talladega, and today is no different. Take a look at the front row in qualifying. Bobby Hillin qualified second a year ago. He missed the race, but Bobby also knows that 2 of the last 3 times this race has been rescheduled, it has been won from the second starting spot. He is flanked by John Andretti, who qualified the same car that sat on the pole here last July. John knows that 8 times first-time winners have gone to victory lane here at Talladega. Maybe today is his turn to shine. Maybe he'll be Talladega's first-time winner, number 9.
Mild-mannered Rusty Wallace is really a racing superhero, but the restrictor plate tracks have been his archenemy. The plates have a kryptonite effect on Miller Man, robbing him of his power and points. Often he shows signs of defeating the plate, but in the end, evil has triumphed over good, and Rusty is reduced to a mere mortal. At Daytona, he started 14th, but was zapped of his strength early and finished 41st. Today, our hero tries one more time. He's a former series champ with 47 career Winston Cup wins, but in restrictor plate races, the man of zeal is 0 for 37.
After a disappointing finish at Martinsville, the current Winston Cup points leader Dale Jarrett and his team bounced back with a fourth-place finish last week at Sears Point. He's never won here at Talladega, but he's finished second 3 times. DJ starts 9th today and hopes a strong run in the Robert Yates Ford helps him extend his points lead.
ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama for the NASCAR Winston Cup Winston 500. As we enter the 10th race of the year, it's basically a 3-man battle for the championship. 4 through 10 separated by only 172 points. Hi everyone, I'm Bob Jenkins, and we're just about set to take the green flag and go racing. These drivers have been thinking about this race since the rain out 2 weeks ago. Although they've competed on the road course at Sears Point in Sonoma, California, they've been thinking about this race and surviving the 188 laps that make up the Winston 500 that we are about to see here today. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, his second career pole position from Indianapolis is John Andretti. Bobby Hillin has his best career start. Dale Earnhardt has 7 career wins here. Rusty Wallace has his best start in a restrictor plate race. Mike Skinner was the pole sitter at the Daytona 500. Ken Schrader's first NASCAR Winston Cup win was here in '88. Ernie Irvan has 4 restrictor plate wins. Bobby Labonte is 4th in points. Dale Jarrett is in his 300th NASCAR Winston Cup start, and Bill Elliott, the Talladega race, an all-time record holder at 212 miles an hour. Then Jeff Gordon, who won the last race here last fall, and Derry Cope, his best start of '97. Starting 13th, Greg Sachs, second in the 1990 Winston 500, and Lake Speed.
On the inside of row 8 is Rick Mast alongside Sterling Marlin, the defending champion. Row 9, Johnny Benson, and last week's winner, Mark Martin. Back in row 10, Jeff Bodine and Jimmy Spencer, Kyle Petty, Robert Presley in row 11. In row 12, the Alabama row, Hutch Strickland and Steve Grissom. Ward Burton, Dick Trickle back in 13th. 14th row, Wally Dallenbach and Michael Waltrip.
And in row 15, we have Ricky Rudd and Kenny Wallace. Row number 16 is made up of Brett Bodine and Joe Nemechek subbing for Robbie Gordon. Row 17 is Ricky Craven and David Green. Row 18, Bobby Hamilton and Terry Labonte. Row 19, Dave Marcus and Ted Musgrave. Those getting in on provisionals in row 20, Jeff Burton and Jeremy Mayfield. Row 21, Morgan Shepherd and Chad Little. And Darrell Waltrip in on a champions provisional will start 43rd.
There you have the lineup for the Winston 500. The pace car taking one more lap as the pace begins to quicken just a little bit. There is some debris on the racetrack, we understand, and so we will not get a green this time around. Well, here are the drivers who missed the field. That arrow indicating that Joe Nemechek, although he did not qualify for this event, as Ned just told you, Robbie Gordon is qualifying for the Indianapolis 500 today, and Nemechek will substitute for him. Let's go to Bill Weber for a quick report on pit road.
Well, Jeff Bodine felt a vibration in his car on the pace lap, so he brought it down pit road. The crew looked at it. They had a right front lug nut that was loose. They tightened him up, sent the car back out. Jeff Bodine will start at the rear of the field after qualifying 19th.
So Bodine catches up with the rest of the field. Well, all that's left now is to take the green flag, to stand on the throttle as hard as you can and turn left.
Put your helmet on, zip up the fire suit tight. You gotta put on your gloves, get out and go. Gonna gear up and fly. Gonna gear up and fly. Running through, running hooked up with the sun up just about right.
Talladega Superspeedway is the scene, and 2 weeks ago we never thought we would see the sunshine in this area of the country again, but boy is it beautiful today. Hardly a cloud in the sky.
Just gorgeous. There we're riding along with Ricky Craven in the Budweiser Ford Chevrolet. I'm sorry, there's the Citgo Ford of Michael Waltrip. Mark Martin's onboard camera, the winner last week, the Valvoline Ford. And there's Greg Sachs. We're riding along with him today. 24 car, Jeff Gordon. And then there's your bouncing baby boy, Dale Jarrett.
Hey, starts in ninth.
And we see the food line on board with Bobby Labonte.
Well, we have some milestones that are being reached here today in this event. Dale Jarrett starts his 300th NASCAR Winston Cup career event. Jeff Burton his 100th, and also Joe Nemechek his 100th. Well, it's just about time to drop the green flag and go racing. We've been waiting on this moment for a long time, and I know you have too. Almost every seat in the grandstand is full as the field comes down through the tri-oval, and we are set to go racing 500 miles, 188 laps. The Winston 500 from Talladega Superspeedway is about to begin. John Andretti leads them down from the pole position with Bobby Hillin on the outside.
And look at Greg Sachs' car. A lot of smoke coming from the inside of the car as they get the green flag and head down into turn one.
But he has now. The first lap goes to Andretti. Wallace is second, then Earnhardt and Skinner. Boy, they're using every inch of racetrack. We got 3 and 4 wide racing through the pack. Look at this 3 abreast coming off the second corner.
Bobby Hill, an outside pole sitter. As I said a moment ago, odd man out. He's fallen back to about 12 to 15. Cannot get back in line.
Now we see Sachs' car there at number 20. Appears to be nothing wrong. I don't know what happened to that. All that smoke that came out just as they were getting the green flag.
This is bumper cam on his shot. Bill Weber, what's going on?
They said they've had a grounding problem in that car all week. They think it's fixed. In fact, they think it just fixed itself. So they're hoping the air will blow the smoke out of the car and Greg can continue.
Breakaway. Then the rest of the field led by Ernie Irvan, Dale Jarrett, and Bobby Labonte. Then behind them, 2 abreast racing. Ken Schrader and Jeff Gordon are side by side.
I think that group figures they're going to have to single out to be able to run that foursome down up in front of them. Ernie Irvan, Dale Jarrett, and Bobby Labonte.
Right along with Jeff Gordon. As he tries to figure out how can I get to those guys. It's only about 100 yards up there, but folks, the hardest 100 yards in the world to gain. Sherman Marlin, the 4-car, who was awfully fast in practice yesterday afternoon, the 1 hour practice these cars had, so maybe the 4 and 24 can get hooked up.
11 cars now in single file formation. Jeff Gordon back there battling alongside a couple of cars, and really it looks like that Gordon is being left because the fast drafting line's on the outside.
The outside does seem to be the fastest lane right now. I think that'll change, Bob, as the tires get it there. Gordon gets up on the outside. He says, hey, I've seen enough of them go by up there. I'll just join them. Sterling Marlin looks on the inside of leg speed, but that didn't work.
And now what was a 4-car breakaway has gone by the wayside as everybody gets into single file formation, and the field has caught up with those 4 up front. Trickle are side by side.
There's Terry Labonte, and there's the outside post sitter, the 77 car of Bobby Hillen.
He has fallen back considerably here at the start of the race from second position, trying to find his way back up through the field.
Chad Little in the green John Deere Pontiac up on the outside there, followed by Jeff Burton, number 99, going by the 30 car of Johnny Benson. Benson in the yellow car.
And now Dale Earnhardt and Mike Skinner have both passed Rusty Wallace up front as we continue to watch this side-by-side action in the mid and rear of the pack.
Well, Rusty Wallace was caught out there, Bob, by a couple of cars, and he's going backwards as the cars are pulling away from him.
There's Derry Cope leading Mark Martin down the backstretch now. We're riding alongside, inside Rusty's car. You can see he has dropped back.
Yeah, he went from second back to about 6th or 7th, and right in the middle of the pack of cars, and that's not where he wants to be. Now he gets in front of Dale Jarrett there, I believe, to get him back in line. And Sterling Marlin just come up there and passed all of them.
Yes,
that particular group of cars. He's fast.
Right along with Bobby Labonte, the through line onboard camera. The rear bumpers, he looks back at late speed.
Here's Jeff Gordon's onboard camera. That's Rusty there to the left. And the bumper cam on Rusty's car looking back to Dale Jarrett.
That top groove is the place to be, Bob, as we pointed out earlier. That Jeff Gordon, you see how far he has come back. He had dropped back to about 20th place, and now has moved back up into the top 10.
That's Jimmy Spencer going to the inside of Jeff Gordon, going to that low line. We'll catch up there and draft off of Bill Elliott and Schrader and Marlin. The top three, John Andretti leading here with Dale Earnhardt second, Mike Skinner, Sterling Marlin fourth, back at Talladega in a moment. ESPN Speed World is live today at Talladega Super Speedway in Alabama for the Winston 500. And it's all being brought to you by Firestone, America's tire since 1900. And by Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change.
Kyle Petty is off the pace down in turn 1. As we watch, there's the leaders coming off turn 2, and there we see Petty on the inside going down in turn 1.
Smoke coming from the Hot Wheels car, number 44, and Kyle Petty is having problems here in the early going of the race. There are the 5 cars that have broken away from everybody else, led by John Andretti. He's been the only leader so far.
And that 4th place car, the Kodak Film Chevrolet Sterling Marlin, is awfully fast. Ned Jarrett said it earlier. Let me re-emphasize, that car is fast today.
Speed running side by side down through the trioval and into the corner. Look how high Chad Little is up on the racetrack with Ward Burton there. 3 abreast again down the straightaway.
Boy, Rusty has cleaned that inside. He just his car works better than there.
Bill Weber, what happened to Kyle Petty?
Talk to crew chief Bobby Kennedy, engine failure. And Kyle Petty will go back to the garage. He's out of the Winston 500. They are very depressed.
His first NASCAR Winston Cup start here was in August of 1979. He finished 9th. Only has 1 top 10 this year, and he will not get another one here today.
I would guess the car burned the piston. They only turn about 7,000 RPMs, which is not a great deal of RPM, so they're not going to drop valves and break stuff like that. But burning the piston is always a problem at this particular racetrack.
You can see that second group beginning to move in again once again on the leaders.
last car back here is Darrell Waltrip.
I think he's right where he wants to be, Bob. Darrell, he's still in the draft. You know, he hasn't lost the draft. So,
well, we had 5 cars that had broken away, and then a spread back to 6, 7, and 8. But now everybody has caught up to that lead draft, and we have what about 12 cars in the lead draft.
And they've completed 13 laps.
Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon dives to the inside underneath the 36 car of Jerry Cope. That's Cope on the outside, the Skittles car. And here goes Gordon making it 3 abreast.
Whoa.
Got a great run off the corner and tries to get by Mark Martin, but there's no one there to help him.
Nobody to help him, but he's now Bobby Labonte comes up there behind him. Well, he did have a run off that corner to be able to pull down there by himself and get that car.
Wow, Greg Sachs really closing up quick.
Bobby Labonte. You see Sachs in the 20 car, the Hardy's car.
And again, we got some cars running side by side, and that means we have a breakaway. Right now, 3 cars are breaking away from everybody else.
And that'll allow some of those a little farther back to catch back up to him, Bob.
Bobby Labonte held his hand up and told the car behind him, listen, give me a little bit of brake going in the corner. Don't run in on the back bumper because I don't know what might happen. I may have to back off the accelerator. And if I do, then we got problems. 20 car really closes it right on the back bumper of the 36.
Sure does.
Now the 4 car trying to lead this group up front.
And you can see how everybody is now beginning to get sorted out a bit. No longer 3 abreast racing, but rather they settle in, hopefully lined up in a single file so that they can catch back up to those up front.
As these guys try to race, what happens is they break up in different packs because if they get side by side and cars in front of them, nose to tail, they just simply drive off and leave them. There's another group of cars. 3 distinct groups of cars going around the racetrack. There's a lead group. There's a second group. And Bobby Hamilton is into that now. This second group is about to catch the first group.
Jeff Gordon goes down low, gets behind Mark Martin, tries to draft up and help him. Jimmy Spencer will also join that line to the low side. Bobby Labonte does also.
So now the 1 and 2 group has become 1. There's still a third group back there. See the Cherry Labonte back there? He started 36th. He's currently running 11th spot.
Well, we knew it wouldn't take him very long to get up that high, but he's done it in 16 laps.
See the 9 car with Ace Hardware sponsorship this race. Michael Waltrip goes by.
Andretti still setting the pace here. Dale Earnhardt and Mike Skinner, 2nd and 3rd. Here comes Mark Martin, who broke that long winless streak last week at Sears Point Raceway in California. Mark is bringing along Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Spencer.
Now, Bobby, seems that inside line might be starting to work a little bit for him. You see that group there went on by Sterling Marlin down on the inside. Before it was the outside lane going by.
Well, they got spread out there for a while, but now it looks like almost the start of the race again. Everybody closing up and battling side by side. And the line up high now being led by Mark Martin up there.
John Andretti, the pole sitter of the RCA Ford, still the leader.
Mark Martin won all the Unical bonus money last week at Sears Point, and so it's back to $7,600 this week for John Andretti. If he should win the race, he will win that bonus from Unical.
Oh, Skinner's got hung out to dry. The outside lane goes by on the outside. Skinner has no one to go with. So it looks like Martin and Jeff Gordon will go by, and here goes a battle for the lead.
Dale Earnhardt wants to lead this race. He has not led since lap 49 of the Daytona 500. He will not get credit for leading that race because Andretti was in front as they crossed the line, but now Dale Earnhardt has taken the lead down the backstretch. And they're beginning to get a little racy again, 3 wide.
See what happened? Earnhardt past the leader. And look what happened, how it jumbled up the cars back in 8th or 10th spot just because Earnhardt made the pass.
Corner and down through the tri-oval, and Dale Earnhardt is going to pick up 5 bonus points for leading this lap. And as I said, it's the first time that he has led since lap 49 of the first race of the year back in February. He has led 14 of the last 15 races here at Talladega. Jerry, what's wrong with Dale Jarrett? He doesn't seem to be running very well.
Well, Bob, not good news for the current Winston Cup point leader. Todd Parrott told me a moment ago they think they have lost a cylinder. They're on 7 cylinders. They won't know they can come in and raise the hood and take a look. But DJ says the car not coming up to speed, not getting the RPMs, and apparently there is a miss under the hood.
Well, he's running back about 30th position right now.
So Dale Jarrett, the points leader, having a tough day early here. It's Earnhardt, Skinner, Andretti, Martin, and Spencer in the Winston 500. At Talladega, and this is the moment of the race where you hold your breath. Look at the racing going on out there and how close these cars are running together. 3 wide, sometimes 4 wide down the backstretch. In the middle is Mike Skinner, and he's trying to get out of that spot, but Wally Dallenbach is down on the inside and Bobby Labonte outside.
He needs to get out of that spot. 3 abreast is not the place to be if you're in the middle.
See Dallenbach, the 46 first Union car, great run, but still, you're right, Skinner's in the middle, can't get out.
Oh, and he looks like there was contact between Skinner and Dallenbach as they came under the first turn. They're still side by side, and again.
Touch again. Wow.
Rick Mast, thank God Rick Mast just backed off and let Skinner go in that hole because he had no choice. The car was going for that hole, and Rick Mast wisely in the 75 backed off and let Skinner in.
All of this at more than 190 miles an hour.
Let's take a look at this. We'll see Michael Walker right along with him as he come by the start-finish line one more time. Oh, Michael's trying to figure out which line do I go in. Well, that's like on the interstate. Is the left lane going or is the right lane going?
Well, it's been both so far. The high lane was the fastest earlier, and most recently it's been the low line. So take your pick.
And we talked about the 3 different groups a moment ago. Well, that's all one group. Everyone has caught up. There's only 1 or 2 cars.
Look at Andretti take almost Sterling Marlin to the grass.
And Jimmy Spencer just drove up there in the middle. He was going to follow somebody, and the hole closed up on him. Now he gets in behind Andretti, so that'll work out okay for him. But Skinner is still in the center now. He gets back out in line.
The 99 car, Jeff Burton, that time got loose getting in the corner, had to back up, lost 2 or 3 spots. That's the Exide battery Ford of Jeff Burton.
Earnhardt, Martin, Gordon, first, second, and third. Then Andretti and Bobby Labonte side by side, and everybody else is behind them. Great overhead shot from the Pennzoil copter cam. Not a better way to see what's happening overall than this helicopter camera. We call it the copter cam, and it's sponsored by Pennzoil. They're at every race we do, and boy, they can give us some great shots. Look at the whole field here come through corner number 4. Now there are no intervals. Everybody is right together.
Yeah, I think 1 car is not in the lead draft other than Kyle Petty, who fell out early on.
As they come to the start-finish line, there's 1 car coming through turn 4 up there now.
Mark Martin would like to lead. He's on the bottom and goes to the front of the field. Here comes Jeff Gordon now right behind him, putting Earnhardt for the moment back to 3rd position.
And Mark Martin led the most laps in the Daytona 500.
That 1 car that we mentioned is not in that lead draft is David Green in the Caterpillar Chevrolet.
Now let's see what Jeff Gordon will do. He's in Mark Martin's draft as they come through the 3rd and 4th corners.
you see that 24 car dancing around and you wonder, what does that feel like, folks? Have you ever followed a tractor and trailer down the road and windy and you get behind that trailer and your car kind of moves around? That's kind of what Jeff Gordon's feeling right now at about 190 miles per hour.
But I'm going 55 on the highway.
Exactly. Here comes Andretti on the inside trying to take over second spot.
Mark Martin, by the way, did get credit for leading that last lap.
Sterling Marlin.
Boy, he pulls out. Dallenbach goes with him. Marlin in the yellow car. Dallenbach in the number 46 green car.
All of a sudden, Jimmy Spencer is in the middle of things. Gordon up high. Jeff Gordon coming around corner 4.
Trying to take the lead, and here he comes.
Martin is going to hang on to the advantage, but just by a nose.
Boy, it was close. Well, if that had been the last lap, I think it would have been a photo finish.
A couple of Fords on the inside, a couple of Chevrolets on the outside. The Chevrolet, and here comes Andretti diving to the inside.
They'll make it 3 wide off the corner. Let's see what happens. Sterling Marlin will go down low and draft off of John Andretti, and Mark Martin is going to be the one in the middle.
And Andretti just shoots right up there on the inside of Jeff Gordon.
And look how high Gordon is up in the corner. He pulled Mark Martin's lead the last lap. Now he's back about 7th and going farther back.
It's a little consolation that Jimmy Spencer is coming up there behind him. I don't believe that two of them can hook up together in that middle there and draft back to the front. Mark's going to try to find an opening somewhere, and I believe he's got it there in front of his teammate.
And once again, it was too close to call up the line. I don't know whether John Andretti led the lap or Jeff Gordon.
Fast cars on the inside, the 4 and the 98. The 2 very fast cars on the outside.
Just had Strickland coming up, making it 3 deep on the inside of Jimmy Spencer.
And it seems like Spencer is in the middle of the lap.
Yeah, he sure is. I don't know if he's content to be there or if he's just a victim of circumstances.
Jeff Gordon is going to lead this lap. He was out front by about a half a car length. Jeff Gordon going for a bonus of $100,000 today. This is a race, of course, in the Winston Million. If he can win 3 of them, he wins $1 million.
John Andretti, when he goes up close to these guys, he's trying to make both those cars block the air rather than one. He's trying to make both cars block one groove for him. As he's down away from this car, he's having to push the air himself. He moves up close to the car. He's hoping both those cars. Here comes Earnhardt.
Boy, he just made a left-hand turn, moved down to the inside, and takes the lead.
Yes, he does. And Bobby Labonte will come along with him down on the low line. Riding along with Bobby the Food Lion onboard camera. Jeff Gordon suddenly back to 3rd and is about to lose it to John Andretti. Gordon back to 4th. Sterling Marlin trying to put him back to 5th. Great racing continues here at Talladega. We have completed 31 laps. It's been clean, but it's also been extremely exciting. The all-time record for lead changes came in 1984 here at Talladega, 75.
Running in the groove, running hooked up with the sun up just about right.
Here at Talladega, 34 laps are complete. There's a good onboard shot of Jeff Gordon as he moves around the 2.66 miles of Talladega.
Watch him as he turns the steering wheel. You see very little effort. He's not working that wheel back and forth. And he sees in the straightaway. Now he turns in the tri-oval section of the racetrack. 18-degree banking. Just goes by the start-finish line, straightens the wheel back out. Goes down to turn 1. And we see he has to turn it a little bit more to get through turns 1 and 2 than he did through the trioval. There he hits a bump, and the wheel moves back and forth just a little bit.
Great shot from the Quaker State onboard camera. There you can see he is in 5th position as he goes down the backstretch, and Ward Burton has caught up to him in the MBNA Pontiac.
See him glance up into the mirror to see what the man behind him is doing. 7 cars there in that lead pack about to try to break away. They're in single file and pulling away a little bit from that 8th place car.
Andretti trying to dive to the inside.
But that'll change that because as they start racing up front a little bit. Ooh! Wow. Andretti and Bobby Labonte almost got together.
That was close, but you would have never noted if you're looking at Jeff Gordon here.
No. And see Bobby Labonte, he backed off because of that, and you see he's still trying to get back up to speed. It's now 1 mile later. He's still trying to get Interstate Batteries Pontiac back up to speed.
And the 77 is coming back up through the field. He started second, lost several positions, went back into the 20s, and now he's back up there with the leaders, and he's being very patient. Bobby Hillen in 77.
I'll tell you what, you're going to have to be patient before this day is over. You cannot use everything up, use up your car or someone else's this early on. Once again, we're getting 3 different groups of cars. Hillen's hung out on the inside and trying to get back in line.
Jerry Punch has more on Bobby Hillen.
At the start of the race, Bobby Hillen got shuffled out of the draft. You saw how quickly that can happen here at Talladega, back to about 27th starting spot. But Bobby had an agreement. They were actually talked with Brad Parrott prior to the race, and he was going to try to hook up with Dale Jarrett and draft together early in the early left. But DJ ended up losing the cylinder, so his drafting partner was falling back, as was Bobby, so he had no help for a while. Now he's managed to find some friends and draft back toward the front.
Yeah, but got shuffled back a little bit there as Jimmy Spencer comes up on his inside. You watch from Mark Martin's car.
Spencer's wanting somebody to come with him. Here's Sterling Marlin making a move up front.
All alone down on the inside. Let's see if he can make it happen.
It'll be awfully hard ground to plow down there by yourself, I'll tell you that.
But we have seen that race car in the past do that.
Look at Andretti. Woo, did he get a run on? Wow.
And Earnhardt, it seemed like all of a sudden saw him and said, whoa, go ahead.
Now Earnhardt's got the great run. But does Earnhardt have anybody to help him? He's trying to get back to the inside.
Go inside.
Andretti up there, the only Ford in that group up front.
Mike Skinner, his teammate.
Talk clear behind the 3 if you want.
And Jeff Gordon's going to go out on the outside. Ooh.
Yeah, you're on the inside or middle.
Yeah, he's in the middle. That's John and Red.
Clear behind the 31. Clear behind the 31.
Ooh. Close.
That's engine man Tony Culla talking to John Andretti.
Can't see back there.
Here's Marlin once again. And look at Wally Dallenbach. He always runs good on in Talladega.
Almost drove down on the apron that time. Earnhardt and Gordon going back and forth, trying to figure out where they need to be to get that push towards the front. And those 3 groups of cars I was talking about a moment ago, back in one group.
Again, they are side by side, just like lap 1, except this is lap 40.
And these are different players up front.
Yeah.
Gary Irvin back about 12th spot in the middle. Now he has a spot he can jump back in line.
Gordon and Earnhardt continue to slug it out up front. John Andretti tucked right in behind Jeff Gordon. Again goes to the inside, and look at the line forming behind him, and they're going to hang Dale Earnhardt out.
This slow down about a half a second a lap when they get side by side like that. They were running about 50 flat. That time was about 50, 55.
So Earnhardt from first back to about 7th or 8th. Sterling Marlin looks like trying to go into second position as Mike Skinner is with him.
Earnhardt in the middle there.
Yes, he is.
His car is really handling well. They look at it, pulled up there and got in line there in front of Blake Burton.
Here comes Sterling Marlin for the lead.
Jerry Punch has a report from the pit area.
We have just heard from at least 3 or 4 different drivers reporting to their crew chiefs, which have now gone to some of the NASCAR pitchers reporting oil on their windshield. We're talking about 3 or 4 cars in the front, 10 or 12, and have said they do have some oil on their windshield, and they have no idea who it's coming from.
Meanwhile, Sterling Marlin has taken the lead, and Jeff Gordon is the one getting shuffled back. We're riding with him, and he is back to 7th or 8th again. So it's anybody's race. We're closing in on the time when everybody should be coming in for a pit stop. We'll take a break and be back. More live coverage from Talladega, Alabama. 45 laps completed in the Winston 500, and Sterling Marlin, a 2-time winner here at this speedway. He won this race in '96 and the summer race in 1995. He is the leader. We're on board with Rusty Wallace, and let's show you the top 15. Sterling Marlin started 16th, Skinner is 2nd, and Andretti, Earnhardt, and Ward Burton.
See Jeff Gordon back in 9th spot. Bill Elliott in 14th and Schrader. They're 16 through 30. All these guys in the lead draft.
Jeremy Mayfield doing okay. He's now running 17th. He started 40th. Those numbers in parentheses are where they started. And now here is 31 through 43. Kyle Petty is off the track. Engine problems there, and David Green just got lapped here in the tri-oval. So here comes Marlin now, leading about 5 cars down the backstretch. I guess 6 cars, and then a bit of a separation back to Dallenbach in 7th. Mike Skinner 2nd, and John Andretti 3rd. We heard Jerry Punch say that some of the drivers were complaining that there is oil on their windshield, and they're looking closely at the 46 car of Dallenbach to see if it's coming from his.
Green just made a pit stop. He had just gone a lap down. Decided to come in and make his pit stop.
They cannot tell if Dallenbach is the one guilty of losing the oil, but when he comes in for a pit stop, they will check the car and that time make a determination.
You see Dallenbach back in about 7th or 8th spot.
There's David Green. He just came out of the pits.
Comes Bill Elliott. Ricky Rudd.
Well, we have a report that Bill Elliott might come into the pits this time. It's getting close to pit stop time. They'll be completing the 48th lap when they come by this time. That's about equal to 50 laps at Daytona, and that's what they normally run at Daytona.
No indication. No.
Yes, here he is.
Yep.
Bill Elliott, the first car to pull out the lead draft, and no one comes with him.
Here's Jerry Punch.
65 miles an hour. They wanted to hang about 2 more laps when we're going to see wholesale pit stops around lap 50, but Elliott on the fuel mileage situation could not afford to wait and run out of gas. Here's the McDonald's Ford Thunderbird. They will change only 2 right side tires. Green flag pit stop, Talladega, the tire wear not a factor. Only right sides for Elliott. Try to get it full of fuel. Right front, right rear on, second can of fuel up. They hold the weight on the gas as he is down and away. 13.5 seconds for 2 tires.
And it's going to be tough for him to stay on the lead lap.
Yes, it will, but the others will be coming in, Bob, here pretty shortly. Let's see if they're coming in this time. Nope. The leaders aren't, at least.
Nope. Top 6. Top 12 stay out. So Bill Elliott is going to be on his own. Catch back up in the field. Here comes Dick Trickle and Johnny Benson for pit stops.
4, 3, 2, 1. That's good. That's good.
John Kernan can see Dick Trickle.
Dick Trickle's engine momentarily stalled, but as soon as the first can of fuel went in, he fired it back up. The engine is running. They were going to make a chassis adjustment in the right rear. Only 2 tires. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Watch your pit road speed. Watch your speed.
And he's away. 2 tires for Benson on the right side. He's away. Wasn't happy with his car yesterday. Made some big changes this morning. But so far it hasn't turned out as planned for Johnny Benson.
Here comes the leader, Bill.
Sterling Marlin headed down pit road. Some of the others stayed out there. Ricky Rudd coming down pit road as well. In fact, there's about 10 or 12 cars that are coming in right now.
Rudd, Strickland, Dillon, Grissom, others coming in. There's Greg Sachs flanking off and hitting his pit stall.
Kenny Wallace, Brett Bodine, Steve Grissom, she said.
Here's Jerry Punch.
Right side tires on the Jasper Engines Federal Mogul Ford of Bobby Helen, who qualified second. After being shuffled out of the lead draft, he had worked his way back into the top 15. Right side tires, they clean the windshield. As you watch these cars go by, here is Jeremy Mayfield down and away. A number of cars pitting. Next time by, we should see the leaders come on the pit road, including Jeff Gordon and a whole slew of cars coming down for what should be a 2-tire change.
Well, a whole slew of cars are right now trying to get out of the pit area, and they have successfully. With Bobby Hillin among those last out. Now Jimmy Spencer has come in for his stop. And the crew goes to work. Ooh, coming very close to going over that line there. Of course, they had to push him back just a little bit.
It's Rick Mask right at the bottom of your screen there that came in. There's Ricky Craven now at the bottom of your screen in the red Chevrolet. Most everyone changing right side tires and filling them up with that Unical gasoline.
There you go, the Skinner's car. Next is Vince.
Ricky Craven is down and moving.
Now another big pack of cars will come in this lap.
And this group is going to include Skinner, Andretti, Earnhardt, Gordon, and others. Here they come.
Oh, and Andretti almost runs in the back of the 31. John Kernan.
Down in Bobby Labonte's pit, he had run as high as second, but got shuffled back. He worked his way back up to 6. It'll be a 2-tire change. Jimmy Maycar in the crew. Only 2 tires. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Right side's for Earnhardt. He has an opening right in front of him. They're waiting only on the fuel. The tires are on. Now Earnhardt's away. Jerry Punch.
Jeff Gordon, 2 cans, 2 tires, no adjustments. They pull the jack in gear, and he's down and away. Earnhardt goes by. Bobby Labonte goes by. There is Skinner. Likewise, 2 tires only for John Andretti in the RCA 4.
Oh, looks like Waltrip had a tough time getting out of the pits. Now he's okay.
Wow.
And back onto the racetrack they go.
And the amazing thing is there's no cars going by. Now finally here comes Sterling Marlin to try to pass this group of cars.
Rusty Wallace leading Ward Burton, Mark Martin, and Jeff Burton.
Now these guys are running about 100 miles an hour, and just behind them, in a second, we're going to see some cars running 190 miles per hour. Now they're working at speed now. They're probably up to 130, 140. But you can see them. The 4 cars, Sterling Marlin was coming like a house of fire.
Here's Jerry Punch again.
Ted Musgrave in for his pit stop on the Family Channel. Prime Star Ford right side tires going on, getting it full of fuel. A little trouble with the right rear. They finally get the lug nuts tight. They're waiting on the gasoline, and now he is able to get down and away as the field comes by.
Prime Star machine. There's Earnhardt, Gordon, and Skinner.
After all that, there's the leader of the race.
Jeff Bodine coming in for a stop. Remember, he had a problem at the beginning of the race. Bill Weber.
And now Jeff Bodine is back in for right side tires. They will make a wedge adjustment on the right rear. Fuel going in. And they're waiting now on the fuel only, waiting to top off the tanks. Jeff had to pit on the pace lap to tighten the right front lug nuts. Now he's returned to the race.
And the QVC Ford makes his way back onto the racetrack. Meanwhile, here come those who have already made their pit stops and are back up to speed. And we'll take a break and be right back for more in Talladega. Welcome back to live coverage of the Winston 500 from Talladega. Dale Earnhardt leads Jeff Gordon and Mike Skinner. John Andretti, Rusty Wallace is up to 5th.
Rusty Wallace had to have had a super pit stop.
He really did, Benny. He was running about 20th place before that round of pit stops, and now he's up to 5th. Of course, that's nothing new for his crew. Boy, they get him in and out of the pits.
8 cars running in the lead draft, then a bit of an interval back to this group led by Jeff Burton. And again, Jimmy Spencer finds himself in the middle.
I'm beginning to believe he wants to be in there, Bob. That must be exciting. He likes exciting things.
He sure seems to be there every time we get a glimpse of him.
I told the NASCAR is a very bright day here today. The sun is out, so NASCAR is going to allow one extra man to go across the wall today to clean the windshield on these race cars.
All right, Jerry, what was the situation on the 88? He seems to be running a little better.
Well, Bob, maybe a little bit better, but because that was a green flag pit stop, they didn't have a chance to look under the hood and see what the problem is. I just talked to Steve Allen. He said, if we get a caution flag, Doc, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come down pit road, raise the hood, take a crayon, and we're going to mark each header pipe. And whichever pipe the crayon mark doesn't melt on, that's the one the cylinder isn't firing. We'll take that plug out. Hopefully, it's just a fouled plug on the start of the race. If that doesn't fix it, then we're going to change the carburetor. That's all we can do is hope and pray, but we've got to get a caution first.
It's an interesting way of finding it. Is that something that's been going on for a few years?
Well, they spray water on the exhaust or put Fred on it. The cold one is the one that's not working.
Right.
Well, now Dale Earnhardt is running about 50 seconds flat up there leading the pack around here. And he was talking about Dale Jarrett and with his problems. I had him the last time. I got him right now. And he ran a 49.64. The last time was 49.16. However, he's in a heavy draft back there coming up on cars. But doesn't seem to be affecting him that much right now.
We talked about the 46 car, Wally Dallenbach, and might be losing some fluid. NASCAR checked his pit and found no evidence of any oil in the 46 pit that last pit stop.
So Dale Earnhardt continues the lead here as you watch a Radio Shack field summary. Earnhardt, a 7-time winner at Talladega, 70 career wins, and 7 of them have been here. He's won this event twice, and he has won the summer race 5 times.
Well, he loves this place because it's fast.
The last time he was here, he experienced a terrible crash in the tri-oval late in the afternoon. He would like to forget all that by winning here this afternoon, and it will also break a long winless streak for Dale Earnhardt. Only one car not on the lead lap. That's David Green, and Kyle Petty remains off the racetrack but not declared out of the race officially.
But no longer do we have them all running in one pack, Bob. They've broken up those pit stops as they normally do. Green flag pit stops will break them up. You have 7 cars that are out front pulling away a little bit now from another pack of cars that has 7 cars in it.
Well, Dale Earnhardt not only has 7 wins, he has 18 top 5s, 22 top 10s, and 1,148 laps led at Talladega, and he is adding to that laps led statistic at this moment. Okay, now let's see. We talked about how they're broken up into groups. There's the lead group. Here's the second one, about 7 cars.
Yeah, there's 7 cars in each, Bob, in the lead group and also in the second group.
Ward Burton and Jeff Burton lead that group into turn number 3. Jeremy Mayfield also right there, along with Labonte, Bobby.
Now, Benny, that's a good situation. If you got a brother there to draft with, you sort of trust him.
Yeah, if there's anybody in your trust, it would be your brother. Now, here's the big group of cars. The third group is the big group. There must be 15, 20 cars in that one.
And they're being led by Spencer.
Spencer, Dick Trickle.
think of Rusty as being very successful on the restrictor plate racetracks, but he's looking very good today. And as you indicated, the pit crew has gotten him again up there in the lead draft.
Ever see the Jeff Gordon right along with him, the 1-800 Merrill 2? You know, Hendrick Motorsports, the guys at the race shop had a donor drive about a month ago, and I saw them yesterday. They are so excited. They found a potential match for someone, not Rick Hendrick, but for someone with leukemia, a potential match at Hendrick Motorsports. They are pumped up about that.
That is great.
Here's Bill Weber.
Okay, down here in the Dale Earnhardt pits, I just talked to Mike Thomas, one of the tire specialists for Richard Childress Racing. These are the right side tires that just came off Earnhardt's car. He says the temperature is perfect. He said the wear is perfect. He says Dale says the car is perfect. Earnhardt hasn't been able to say that very much. He's in the lead right now. But come back here and let me show you one more thing that isn't so perfect. The paint that says Goodyear on this right side tires. It's made contact somewhere at about 190 miles an hour.
That's a good thing you got that one off, Bill.
There he is, Earnhardt leading.
You see the white number 3 on the left door. Well, on the right door, the number 3 has a black mark. It has a donut on the right side. See it there as he goes by? So when he rubbed the Goodyear off his tire, also someone else rubbed the Goodyear off their tires. They rubbed up against the 3 car.
Earnhardt comes into this race 7th in the point standings, looking for his 8th NASCAR Winston Cup championship in '97. And Jerry Punch has more.
If you look at the driver's side door on the RCA Ford of John Andretti, you might want to find out where Earnhardt got his tire rub from. Early in the race, when Earnhardt made the move past Andretti, John said, hey, I just think I got intimidated up here, but it didn't work. He passed me, but I'm coming back. So that may be where those little donuts came from. Andretti's got one, too, right beside him in the driver's door.
Well, there for a while, it was hold your breath time, but now things kind of settle down, especially up in the top 2 groups. There's nose to tail and just content at the moment to stay there. We are on record. The track record is 186.288, and the average speed right now is 187.6. We have had no cautions yet, and let's hope we don't have one. Everyone's being very, very patient and playing it very smart at this time.
Bob, I mentioned a moment ago that Earnhardt was running in laps at about 50 seconds flat. He has picked that up now. He's running about 49.60 seconds, and that's close to the qualifying speed here of John Andretti. I think he ran about a 49.45 or something like that on his qualifying effort.
Here's once again the overhead shot from the Pennzoil copter cam. As the field moves through the 4th corner and here in front of the grandstand, and there you can also see, in addition to the distinct packs that are running around here, remember this race was supposed to be held 2 weeks ago, and look at the grandstand. It's almost full. Bobby Hamilton now passes Dale Jarrett as the points leader. Jarrett is struggling with a cylinder problem. The advantage that he carried into this race, 40 points over Terry Labonte. Dale Earnhardt continues to lead. 2nd is Jeff Gordon. Mike Skinner 3rd. John Andretti 4th. And Rusty Wallace 5th with 66 laps complete. Well, you're riding along at 190 miles an hour plus with Ricky Craven. Looking back on Wally Dallenbach and Joe Nemechek substituting for Robbie Gordon. Here's a Radio Shack Field summary. The top 15 as they stand at the moment. Like Jeff Burton and Jeremy Mayfield are the ones that have really made a great climb here in the first 69 laps of the race.
Also, Ward Burton started in 25th and worked his way up the 8th spot. I think looked 16 through 30.
Dave Marcus doing pretty good there in 22nd position, having started 37th.
And we see the 2 points leaders, Dale Jarrett and Terry Labonte, running right together in 23rd, 24th.
So neither one of them having a particularly good day. And the remainder of the field now. There's Nemechek in substitution for Robbie Gordon. Steve Grissom delayed surgery on his foot so that he could compete in this race. This was, of course, supposed to be an off weekend, and he was going to have surgery, but says now he doesn't even know whether he'll have surgery. And he's feeling well as that.
And nothing has changed in the lead draft. It's still Earnhardt, Gordon, Mike Skinner, running nose to tail. And as long as the second place car chooses not to pull out, that's where they're going to stay in a single file.
And they realize that they're able to stay a distance between them and that second pack, and knowing real well if they should start racing up there, that pack would catch up to them.
There's Robin Pemberton, Rusty Wallace's crew chief. That's Rusty there in 5th. And Bill Weber is down in Rusty's pit.
Well, a great run for Rusty Wallace as of right now. He did say this is his best ever super speedway car. The good news is he had a fast pit stop. The bad news is it was probably too fast, 9.87 seconds. He was supposed to wait until crew chief Robin Pemberton told him to go. But when the jack went down, Rusty's reaction came in. He popped the clutch and left before they got the Miller Ford full of fuel. He stopped on lap 52. How much further can he go? They're working on that now. But Rusty will need to pit before everybody else.
I think Ned speculated that might have happened, that he didn't get the tank full of fuel.
He made up a lot of positions, although his pit crew has been known to make up a lot of positions in the past. But he made up at least 15 positions on that green flag pit stop.
That's a great shot, isn't it? Look how relaxed Rusty is.
Yeah. He just waving back to the car behind him, Sterling Marlin.
It's like a Sunday drive, waving to your neighbors and going on down the highway.
Oops, you're on the outside of it now.
Now, if this thing should go green all the way, I'm sure that most of them will plan to make just 3 pit stops. And Rusty would have to make an extra one, and that would be detrimental.
Yep. Now Sterling Marlin and Mark Martin come up on the high side and pass Rusty.
Try to pass Rusty.
Almost, yeah.
And meanwhile, what they did when they pulled up on the outside, they let that group behind them gain about 1 second on them.
Exactly right. Just happens that quickly. 2 cars get side by side, and that group back there is coming on. So instead of a 7-car lead draft, there's going to be about 15 in it here shortly or more.
It also has allowed a little bit of separation among the top 3. So there's Earnhardt, 31st of 37 racing here at Talladega. There's Michael Waltrip. He's running all by himself. And apparently was catching the lead draft. Look at this on-track interval when he had the draft. 48.2 and a 4.2 second. But then when he lost the draft,
and you can see it happen in 1 lap. He went from 49.90. He went from this to that, 50.7, all in 1 lap. And now the cars are just blowing by him as he tries to get his car up to speed.
Yep. Terry Labonte passes Ernie Irvin. Now here comes Derek Cope.
So Michael Waltrip was on the tail end of that other group of cars, and somehow he had to back off the gas. Something happened. They shook him loose in the draft, and we saw he lost 0.8 of a second.
There you can see that there are 9 cars now in the lead draft.
And Rusty Wallace has fallen out of this lead group. You see, he's not there anymore. He's back with the next group of cars.
And Jerry Punch, it looks like that Jeff Gordon is just content to stay right where he is. Is that a good assumption?
That's a great assumption, Bob. You know, Benny Parsons a moment ago said, I wonder why Jeff isn't going to pull out. Well, right as Benny said that, Jeff radioed to Ray Everdam and said, hey, Ray, if I pull out, take a wild guess who Skinner's going to go with.
Right.
That's Mike Skinner doing a great job there.
And John Andretti tried his best to figure out, now, what can I do to pass these guys here? He really and truly, movement back just a moment ago, was very, very aggressive. That said, I want to get by. Now he's told Sterling Marlin, I want to go by. So Sterling pulls up behind him. They're going to try to get a run now and work on these guys up there.
So there they are down the backstretch, and a second distinct group right there, and Rusty is in that second group in the middle of it, so he has lost several positions just in the last few laps. 76 laps completed here at Talladega. It's Earnhardt, Gordon, Skinner, Andretti, and Sterling Marlin. We'll be right back. Back at Talladega and the Winston 500, Dale Earnhardt continues to lead. Now, don't forget, this is Saturday afternoon, not Sunday. So it's tomorrow night that you'll catch the game between the Blue Jays and the Twins. That's the ESPN Sunday night baseball game of the week. It's at 8 o'clock Eastern time, the Blue Jays against the Twins. Bill Weber has a report from the pit area as the cars come in.
And that would be Jeff Bodine, and he has shut off the QVC Ford, and it just sounded awful in the motor compartment when he pulled in. So he's here, hoods up. He's not going to win today as the leaders go by. Jeff Bodine on pit road. This day started off bad, and it's just gotten worse for Bodine.
That would be too bad because Jeff Bodine had a problem last week in the QVC Ford, engine problem, so 2 weeks in a row.
As a matter of fact, he's fallen from 7th to 20th in the points in the last 3 races, so things aren't going well for Jeff Bodine. Things are going well at the moment for Dale Earnhardt as he continues to lead. Jeff Gordon, Mike Skinner, Sterling Marlin, and then the side-by-side battle between Mark Martin and John Andretti. Here comes Bobby Labonte to the bottom of the track.
Dove to the inside, got a good run.
Bill Elliott followed him right through.
And you see that entire group of cars is caught up with this lead draft.
Here's a Radio Shack Field summary. Marlin started 16th and Martin started 18th. There you see the pole sitter John Andretti running 6th at the moment.
Mike Skinner on the outside.
Yeah, they're getting a little racy up there again.
Yep.
They've decided that follow the leader has gone long enough, some of them. Although Gordon's sticking right there with Earnhardt.
Yeah, he follows Earnhardt wherever he goes, and it looks like that it's going to be the fastest line down there.
Yeah, and Skinner, that's a good position for him to be in with his car overheating, the car number 31 up on the outside. That'll give him a little fresh air up there to cool it down a little.
In the commercial break, we did have a report from the pits that Skinner's car was water running a little bit warm, and he could not stay in line the way that he needed to or wanted to, actually.
Elliott's running well, isn't he?
Bill Elliott is running very well.
We got 3 cars right behind the lead pack, led by Spencer. It also includes Mayfield and Rudd.
And I think they're catching that lead pack, especially since they've started that side-by-side racing up there. They're staying in single file, and there you see, they don't have that far to go. They can definitely feel the draft of that group of cars up in front of them.
Let's take a look at Jimmy Spencer, who's running 14th, and compare him to Dale Earnhardt. Wow, has that interval closed up?
Well, we see that 50.7, but look, 9, 7, 6, 49.6, 49.8, and he closes in 4.5 seconds to a little over 2.5 seconds. So he gained 2 seconds, almost 2 seconds on the leader.
And of course, the other thing to look for in that was the fact that Benny still can't draw a straight line on the telestrator.
That's true. Well, he's used to doing circles all of his life. Big circles.
And Schrader and Rusty Wallace trying to work their way back to the front. Well, you're just as fast as the fellow in front of you, aren't you?
Yes, sir. That is it.
Yep. Tightened up here after we saw a 4 or 5 car breakaway for a while in single file racing. It is no longer that way.
Bill Elliott told me the McDonald's Ford, he said in Daytona, that might be the best car I've ever had in Daytona Beach. And he wasn't so frustrated that the guys that the Hendrick cars teamed up on him and passed him, he was frustrated that he did not have a chance to race him back. The caution flag came out, and the race ended on the caution flag because he really felt like that he had something for them if he could just have raced in those past few laps. Last few laps.
Bill finished 4th in that Daytona 500, and he finished 13th in the summer race last year. Jerry?
And getting back to Daytona, what you said, Elliott said he was a little frustrated that he and Earnhardt couldn't settle it between the two of them because of what happened. Earnhardt's car ended up taking a tumble, and he got ganged up on by Team Hendrick. Prior to the race starting today, I was told by the Earnhardt group and by the Elliott group, they have decided to try to hook it up if they can and run together in a draft. Maybe that way, since they don't have really a lot of teammates in the race running up front, they can settle it among themselves, maybe get back and see what would have happened had lap number 12 from the end not occurred at Daytona.
And look at those speeds. The 11th place car of Jeremy Mayfield was the fastest that lap at over 192 miles an hour.
Picked himself up a good draft. We understand the 22 car of Ward Burton maybe is slowing down.
Well, yes, he is.
Yes, he's down on the inside of the racetrack. He's had a great run going. Now, it's a little early for a scheduled pit stop.
And he would not have stopped going in the third corner, Ned. He would have waited coming off 4 and slammed on the brakes. So obviously something amiss on the MBNA Pontiac. Oh, you see that smoke coming out the exhaust pipe. That's not good news.
Not at all.
It's like a burned piston on the 22 car.
So the guy who also had a top 10 finish in the only other restrictor plate this year, Ward Burton, he finished 8th at Daytona, is in the pits. Bill, what's wrong?
They believe it is a burned piston. Ward's in, the hood's up, the crew underneath. They're going to put fuel in the car, but they believe Ward Burton has burned a piston. They're going to try and check here. The MBNA Pontiac sits on pit road, and another team with a disappointing afternoon here in Talladega.
And not what Ward needed because he was 8th in points going into this race.
He's been very consistent this year. Has had some very good runs. And
there's another car in the pits. Is that Steve Grissom also?
Yes, it is. And there's a report of oil on the racetrack.
And the NASCAR official looking under the car to see if he does see some oil.
If so, the caution will be thrown so the track officials can go outside on the racetrack and see if there is any in the racing groove.
Sterling Marlin, Dale Earnhardt, the 3 and the 4. Restrictor plate races doesn't get much better than this.
Jerry, how about Steve Grissom?
Well, there was oil all over Grissom's windshield. The car was smoking when it came down pit road. There's oil over the back of the windshield there, back of the hood area in the cowl. Now you hear the car revving to leave pit road, but oil, I should say smoke coming from the left side exhaust. Probably Steve will not be able to run much longer.
Grissom grew up, of course, within shouting distance of Talladega. And look, once again, we see the speeds. And look at this. The guys running back there in 15th, 16th, 17th are the fastest. And the other thing to look at is the 37 car, who ran the previous lap at 192, is now the slowest that next lap.
And this time the 30 car back in, what is that, 18th, 19th spot, 192 miles per hour in front of Michael Walter, 192.1. Ernie Irvin, 192. Terry Labonte, 192.3.
Jerry has more on Steve Grissom.
Well, I talked to Randy Clary, the engine builder for the Kodiak Chevrolet. Said they're probably going to go back to the garage area. They may have burned a piston. What they could do is go back and pull a rocker arm off and try to get the car back on the racetrack to complete some laps and get some valuable points. Basically coming out with just 7 cylinders firing, just trying to finish the day.
So a tough break for Steve Grissom.
And Sterling Marlin, I don't know if he's lost a cylinder. He looks like he's lost a cylinder.
Yes, he does, Benny, because Swayze's pulled away from him coming off of turn 2. He pulls down to the inside of the racetrack. Ernie Irvin coming up. Oh, that's car number 99 up there on the outside. Jeff Burton.
He is definitely off song to the inside of the racetrack. Will he be coming in? Meanwhile, look what's going on up front. My goodness, Rusty Wallace is up in front now. and Dale Earnhardt finds himself battling for second position, and John Andretti is down on the inside with no help. Now here comes Ken Schrader.
And Rusty Wallace has taken the lead.
How about that impressive performance for Rusty Wallace, his third consecutive Winston 500 lead, but he has 4 DNFs in his last 6 starts here at Talladega, and there goes Earnhardt.
Yeah, his lead's short-lived. Earnhardt drives right on by. And you wonder about Rusty's fuel now. If he didn't get it full, he's going to have to be coming into the pits before too long.
And working lap number 91.
He's coming in. I saw Rusty Wallace waving. That's telling the cars behind him, I'm going to make a pit stop. Don't get behind me.
We are 3 laps from the halfway point, so you know this is unusual. Here's Jerry.
Just talked to Ron Pittman as the engine builder for Sterling Marlin, and we think we either have an exhaust pipe broken or a header pipe broken. Either way, the car is real flat right now. It will not come up and get the RPMs we need, and obviously this costs us a lot of valuable time on the racetrack. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Rusty Wallace could only make it this far, maybe another lap or 2, so he's coming in to get lefts and a definite full load of fuel. Several teams had talked to Robin Pemberton about pitting together on lap 102 or lap 104. He said, we can't wait that long. 14.4 seconds. So 5 seconds may prove very costly to Rusty Wallace. He's going to try and draft out with a 90 of Dick Trickle. They had talked about 10 laps ago about pitting his partners.
That is indeed what has happened, so those two will hook up and try to pull up on the lead pack again. So Rusty Wallace has made his pit stop. Others will come along soon. Right now, 91 laps completed, and Dale Earnhardt is still up front. Six cars in the lead draft. There you see them all at the Winston 500 here at Talladega. Dale Earnhardt leading the way still. Those 6 cars, nose to tail. John Andretti, Jimmy Spencer, Mike Skinner, Bill Elliott, and Jeff Gordon.
They put some distance on the second group of cars because, as you can see, they got in line. They were able to run a little bit faster. And the second group, the 7th place car, started racing with the 8th place car side by side, and they're simply driving away right now.
Plus the fact that Earnhardt is coming up on some of those cars that made pit stops. Rusty Wallace, Dick Trickling them, and he is turning some very fast laps right now. His last lap was at 49.54 seconds, so that's about 193 miles an hour.
If you like to go online with your computer, the NASCAR website is www.nascar.com, and there you can find just about any kind of information that you want to. NASCAR is also running a Busch race today and a truck race today, and you can find the results and all the information about those events and others by going online and calling up www.nascar.com.
Earnhardt quickly got on the inside of the 97 car of Chad Little. Unfortunately, that move would have worked great, but at this racetrack, it's just so hard to leave someone.
There's Mike Skinner in the 31 car. He might get caught up some of those lap cars.
And there's Kyle Petty also to the inside of the racetrack. He has had problems from the early going, but he is back out there. And now Earnhardt tries to wrestle the lead away from Rusty Wallace.
He's trying to lap Rusty Wallace,
who has already made the second pit stop.
Well, one thing Rusty Wallace does not want to see right now is a caution until everyone else has made their second pit stops.
Jimmy Spencer, boy, he's having a good show, huh?
And a terrific run today, Spencer.
Finished 5th here at Talladega in last summer's race. There are Kyle Petty and Chad Little running side by side. Radio Shack Field Summary is going to show you that there are a lot of cars still on the lead lap.
And most of them.
Past the halfway point, by the way. Okay, pit stops are going to be happening soon. Bill, what is the feeling down there?
Well, right now, Bob, tire strategy and tire wear are the 2 big subjects. A lot of guys looking at Rusty Wallace installs his left side tires to see how they look after about 90 laps. Guys don't want to get caught down here having to put 4 tires on the following pit stop, not this one coming up, but the next one when they won't need a full load of fuel. So if you wait 3 more seconds, 15 seconds for 2 tires, you top off, you use 18 seconds for 4, you might want to put your 4 on now, or if you got the punch.
Well, fuel seems to be the consideration down here in the Bill Elliott pit. You know, he was the first guy to come in. He pitted on lap 48. Now, the question is whether they can wait to stay out and pit with the 24 and the 3 car, which aren't going to come until lap 102 to 104. If Elliott were to try to stay out, that would mean you have to go around 56 laps on fuel on this first stop. And, folks, that's a long way and maybe too much for Mike Beam to gamble on.
Those pit stops coming up shortly. But right now, Dale Earnhardt continues to show the way. He has led 61 of the first 98 laps. We have had 8 different leaders and 12 lead changes, and we have not seen the caution flag at all this afternoon.
Mike Skinner trying to take over the second spot from Andretti.
We're going to take a break here while we await the pit stops that should be coming up shortly. We're at Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama. Live coverage of the Winston 500.
Running in the groove, running hooked up with the sun just about right.
They are running in the groove in the bright sunshine here at Talladega as 102 of 188 laps are complete. Second round of regularly scheduled pit stops coming up shortly. And as of right now, Terry Labonte has gone into the points lead in the NASCAR Winston Cup competition. Jarrett back to second. Jeff Gordon 28 behind, then Martin and Earnhardt up 2 positions to 5th. That's as if points were awarded right now. Bobby Labonte would lose 1, Jeff Burton lose 1, Hamilton up 1, Rudd up 1, and Michael Waltrip would move into the top 10 from 12th position.
Several cars making pit stop. Bobby Hamilton coming out. Brett Bodine coming out of the pit, so is Chad Little and Jeremy Mayfield. And here's more coming in.
Bill Elliott, Jeff Burton, Ricky Rudd, and Ken Schrader. Here's John Kernan.
They're going to the right side to change tires on Jeff Burton's car. Of course, they will need one more pit stop to go the distance. If this race remains green, they changed right side tires last time, made a right rear chassis adjustment. Let's go down to Bill Elliott's pit and Dr. Jerry Punch as Burton leads.
Well, Elliott wanted to be able to wait a little longer, but he couldn't wait and stay out. Right side tires already going on. Now left side going on as he is about to leave pit road. Others coming in. They wait to get left rear. A little bit of a problem. Now problem with the lug nuts in the left rear tire. 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. And now they follow the car. Now he refires. About 7 extra seconds cost Elliott some valuable time as he's down pit road.
And here comes the lead pack through the tri-oval. Well, that was a very slow pit stop for Bill Elliott.
2 or 3 seconds that they spent when the lug nuts fell off the left rear tire are going to cost them dearly.
Yeah, he's not even going to be able to catch on to the lead pack. He's already a lap down. However, the others will have to stop.
Mark Martin and Jimmy Spencer are also in for their pit stops. Right side rubber going on the 6 Valvoline car of Martin. They're working on the left side of Jimmy Spencer's machine.
They changing left sides on the 6 car. Let's see, the 23 car only changed left sides, did not change right. Mark Martin chose to change both sides. See Dale Jarrett coming in, the Ford Quality Care car, and Mark leaves the pits.
Here's Jerry in Jarrett's pit.
Well, left side tires only for Dale Jarrett. They cannot afford to go a lap down. Remember, they're on 7 cylinders, so they wanted to get a caution flag to have a chance to be able to raise the hood. Left side tires on, full of fuel. The Quality Care Ford is down and away. Earnhardt is in the pits. Let's go up pit road.
Certainly one of the shining moments for Dale Earnhardt this season, running well at Talladega. This is expected to be a 4-tire stop. Then they'll only put 2 on next time. Teams have worked out strategy. This is 4 tires for Earnhardt. They come around to the left side. His teammate Mike Skinner is in his pit stall, 2 behind Earnhardt. He's right behind Earnhardt. Earnhardt's got 4 tires. Working on the left front. That took a little while. He stalled it. Gets a little push. push, refires. Skinner's still sitting on pit road, working on the left side of his car. And now the fuel can goes down. They toss that over the wall. Still fueling the 31 Lowe's Chevrolet. Now they've got all the fuel in, waiting on the lug nuts. Car is down. Skinner cannot get it started. They're going to have to push it. Skinner may have run out of gas. They're pushing it down pit road. He gets it fired. Off he goes.
Here comes Joe Nemechek. Wally Dallenbach out of the pits.
Fast.
And finally, Skinner.
That's going to cost him, too. He's going to be way back in the pack where he was up in the front pack. Talking about Mike Skinner. A little extra time. Michael Waltrip might wind up being the leader of this race, guys. I think he only took on 2 tires, but he beat Earnhardt and all of them out of the pits.
On board with Michael Waltrip and the Citgo onboard camera. He started in 28th position and is being shown as the leader at the moment. Well, now NASCAR may say that the 4 car is the leader.
Now, I don't think that the 4 car, if that's the case, the 4 car hasn't pitted yet then of Sterling Marlin.
There he is running by himself. And he has not pitted, so he would be the leader of the race. So Sterling Marlin, a 2-time winner here, is going to have to pit soon. I don't know whether it's going to be this lap or not. Apparently not. He comes off the 4th corner and stays on the racetrack, and so he'll go around at least one more time. And there are the statistics for Sterling Marlin at Talladega. 28 races, 2 wins, and 12 top 10s. Back in a moment. ESPN's live coverage of the Winston 500 here on Speed World from Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama, being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. By Texaco Havoline Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. By the more than 1,525 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Team Monte Carlo Chevy, the cars more champions trust. Well, Sterling Marlin has made his pit stop, and that gives the lead to Jeff Burton.
He took a provisional to get in this race. There he is, running behind Greg Sachs.
Second place is Ricky Rudd, and then is Ken Schrader.
These cars come through the trial to the start-finish line. Michael Waltrip would be the 4th place car. If I'm not mistaken, the 20 car of Sachs and the 29 car of Robert Presley would be laps down to the leader.
Dr. Jerry Punch has an overview of what happened during that most recent series of pit stops. Doc?
Well, Bob, so many cars came on the pit road at one time on lap 105. We watched the 3-car pit stop in the 31 who had run out of fuel, but at the same time, down pit road, Jeff Gordon was pitting, as was John Andretti. Both those cars put 4 tires on. Gordon, no adjustments on the car, 4 tires and fuel in 18.6 seconds. John Andretti, 4 tires and fuel, and they cleaned the windshield in 21 seconds flat.
All right, there you go. On the racetrack, we formed up 2 by 2 again.
And this group, as they come through the trial, well, the lead cars just went by the start-finish line, so they're probably 3 or 4 seconds behind. There we see the lead cars going down in the corner. And there we see Jimmy Spencer and Jeff Gordon. Spencer, I think, only changed left sides that time.
He's in 5th place. Jeff Gordon would be in 6th place. Here are the leaders.
And there's a battle for the lead. Schrader on the inside, a Skoll car trying to take it away.
Excuse me, Ben.
About make that run.
But that's exactly what Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Spencer want to see, is those guys up there racing side by side.
Summer of 1988, Ken Schrader took the checkered flag here, won the race. He's right now in a battle for 2nd. On board with Michael Waltrip.
And look right right behind them. Here comes Spencer and Jeff Gordon. They have caught this lead group.
And they have momentum, Benny, so they should be able to just go right on by. Robert Presley is 1 lap down. He's being shown in 33rd position. Greg Sachs running right in front of the leader as we see Spencer and Gordon going on by, looking up in that draft. But there, Greg Sachs, he is currently being shown in the 32nd position. So 32 cars on the lead lap. But Greg Sachs now going a lap down, so there will be 31 cars on the lead lap.
Here's the second group of cars. It includes Marlin and Andretti. And
Ernie Irvin.
We see the 8 car down on the inside there, guys. I think he has lost a cylinder, definitely. His car, as it goes by here, it sounds very, very weak.
This is the Food Lion onboard camera with Bobby Labonte. How close he sneaks up on the 28 car. Here's Jerry Punch.
Mentioned that Jimmy Spencer only changed left side tires. If you wonder why, was that a last minute call? No, it really wasn't. I just talked to Donnie Wingo. He said he and Travis Carter and Jimmy Spencer sat down this morning and mapped out their strategy. Their plan was 3 pit stops. First time right side tires, second time left side tires, the third and final stop right side tires. And that's what they've done. They've already gone rights and lefts. And if we stay green, they'll get rights only on their final stop.
Let's take a look at an AutoZone on-track interval. The difference between the leader, Jeff Burton, and 4th place, Jimmy Spencer. You're going to see that that interval has closed up considerably. 2.4 seconds on lap 110 to 0.6 of a second on lap 114, and Spencer was faster on every lap but one.
And we're using Jimmy Spencer, but we could easily use Jeff Gordon because they were running nose to tail.
Jeff Burton continues to lead this race. With Ricky Rudd right behind, we'll take another break and be back with more. 114 laps are completed here at Talladega. Number 99, Jeff Burton, is leading here at Talladega. It's the first time that he has ever led here at this racetrack in his 7th race. Well, he did lead a few laps, but now Ken Schrader has gone to the front, and here comes Jeff Gordon, and it looks like Ricky Rudd also.
Yeah, I think Schrader sort of motioned to Gordon, said, come on, I'm ready to go. And he just followed him right along.
One car they don't have to worry about anymore is Sterling Marlin. That car has come into the garage area. You can see a little bit of liquid that he has trailed from that car, and Sterling Marlin has dropped out of competition.
We'll go from there and sitting still in the garage area to the cars on the backstretch, going in turn 3 at about 190 miles per hour. And we see that Jeff Gordon now has the lead, and Schrader, who was leading just a moment ago, is back about 5th spot.
Just that quickly.
As a matter of fact, Earnhardt trying to pass Schrader.
The last time that Ken Schrader led a race was at the Southern 500 last year, so this is the first time that the 33 car has been up front in 1997. John Kernan standing by with Jeff Bodine.
And Jeff Bodine, who's put his car into the hauler, he's changed into his street clothes. Jeff, what happened?
Broke a rocker ramp, John. Parts failure, those things happen. We don't build all the parts that we put in these engines, and the rocker ramp broke. A shame. We were just riding along. This is a long race and we're all in the group. The car was running good, but we've loaded the QVC Ford up, going back to North Carolina. But you know what? I've got a great idea for your ride-along program, John. Guess what it is? Well, you and, maybe Benny Parsons. I don't know if we can get Benny in there, but somebody. We need to give you a ride in one of our United States bobsleds. The sleds that go down those roads in the ice in the wintertime, going to be in the Olympics this winter. Hey, that'd be a great ride along.
I think, though, Benny and I both have to go on diets for that, Jeff, but thanks for the offer. Guys, back to you.
Bobsleds have to run in winter weather, and I don't like winter weather.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks, Jeff. I do appreciate it. But good luck to the bobsled team.
68 laps to go. Let's see if we can find the 2 car in this group.
He's out of this draft, Bob. He's way back here by himself. That's where he is.
Uh-oh. Boy, he is all by himself, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's not good.
And if this thing continues to go green, he's going to have an extra pit stop to make as well.
Back in 16th position, Rusty Wallace. His average finish in 17 restrictor plate races, 26th. His average finish here at Talladega, 20th.
There's the lead cars. First 6 nose to tail. Whoops. Make that back. Make it 8 cars nose to tail.
We don't want to jinx anything here, but there has never been a race at Talladega run without a caution. The record is 2 cautions, and that's happened on 6 different occasions. Let's hope we can go the entire race without a caution. Bill Weber, what happened to Rusty?
Well, he was running in some traffic, got pinched off a little bit, and then when Sterling Marlin blew, Rusty's great luck continues. He was right behind him. He had to get out of the gas and lost all his friends. So he's drafting by himself right now, and really hoping for a break. Remember, he's got to win the game for everybody else.
Yeah, that's the worst situation in the world. You want to be folks, that's not fun. Running nose to tail, looking through the rear window of another car at 195 miles per hour. And by yourself, it's very nice. At 190 miles per hour by yourself is like going down to the store after a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
But you're not going to win when you're out there by yourself.
Remember the last time I traveled to the grocery store at 190, but maybe I'll try that tomorrow. Oh, look at Earnhardt going up top.
Taking over third spot, or trying to, from Jimmy Spencer.
And Ernie Irvan is suddenly a player here. Mark Martin goes to the inside. So 2 cars single file, and then they're 2 by 2.
Trying his best not to give up that third spot. Great spot to be, especially the latter part of the race.
Jeff Gordon continues to lead it here. 123 laps completed. This thing is going very, very quickly. 188 the scheduled distance. Great shot from Mark Martin's car. Waltrip running alongside him. Jeff Gordon, the current leader at the 123 lap mark, with Rudd, Earnhardt, and Jimmy Spencer 3rd and 4th. Ernie Irvan is 5th at the moment. We'll be right back with more to Talladega.
Running in the running hooked up with the sun just about right.
We went to break. Jeff Gordon was the leader, but he isn't anymore. He made the wrong choice when coming up on slower cars. He's getting shuffled around, and Dale Earnhardt has gone to the front. Ernie Irvan is 2nd.
Spencer, Ricky Rudd, and John Andretti. That's top 5.
Sterling Marlin is out of the race. John Kernan is with him.
Well, Sterling Marlin finished 5th at the Daytona 500. Came down here, looked very strong today, but now behind the wall, broken valve. Sterling, can you believe the bad luck you guys have been having?
It just continues. The guys working real hard, and the Kodak Chevy's running good. Was right up there, come back to 2nd, and just trying to wait to take a lead, and broke the valve. I guess chipped it off, and it finally dropped it, and knocked the hole in the block and the whole deal. So put us out. But like I said, old Jerry Walter had, I guess, bypass surgery with COVID.
Sterling Marlin in the garage area right now, and you can hear the disappointment in his voice.
I guess when you have a hole in the side of the block, you're not going to go very far, are you? Look at Ernie Irvan.
Trying to take a lead. Can't quite make it.
Coming into the top 10 is Dick Trickle. A good move. Remember, he came out with Bill Elliott a while ago, but Elliott has dropped back to 17th position.
I think that was Rusty he came out with.
Oh, that's right.
Rusty made the pit stop.
Yeah. But Elliott had the bad pit stop and has dropped back all the way to 17th. Look at the position shuffle, and 4 wide here. I don't like this.
Mark Martin trying to go for the lead.
Wow.
And here's a 99 car. Whoa!
Mark Martin didn't see Earnhardt until the last minute and had to take evasive action. This is scary.
You know, I watched practice yesterday afternoon. I saw Earnhardt out there, Mark Martin right behind him, and Mark Martin didn't pass him and didn't close up on him. I said, oh, man, this is going to be terrible. You know, we're not going to see a lot of passing. Wrong. Jeff Burton put the X-Side Ford in the lead.
Wow. Martin down on the inside now.
Michael Walker worked his way up to third spot.
Yep, he sure has. You see Elliott back in 17th position. Where is he in relation to the lead pack?
He's pretty far behind. We'll wait. He'll come into the picture there before too long, but it's a lot of real estate.
This is an eternity.
Yes.
There he is. Wow. He was running third and was looking real good, but that's what happens when you have problems in the pits, even though it only took about 3 seconds to correct the problem.
And Mike Skinner did the same thing. Yep. He had trouble, couldn't get the car refired after running out of fuel, so back there he is. He was running up there in the top 5 as well.
And now those cars might be running as fast as the leaders, but unfortunately, they're coming off turn 2. The leaders are coming off turn 4.
The 42-race winless streak last Sunday at Sears Point. Michael Waltrip is right behind him, and there's Dick Trickle on the right. And whoa, look at Spencer and Waltrip. Whoa. Meanwhile, Earnhardt goes back into the lead, passing Jeff Burton.
See, that's Trickle down on the inside. As Ned said, I think Hudson was 7 cylinders.
That puts him 2 laps down in 37th.
And Dick Trickle trying to take over the 4th spot from Michael Waltrip.
Look, it's getting racy here, isn't it? Sure is.
Yep. Ricky Rudd goes down on the bottom to help him draft. So does John Andretti.
Dick Trickle put him in 4th spot.
How about that? He started 26th and is currently in 4th spot. Good run for Dick Trickle from Iron Station, North Carolina, originally from up in Wisconsin. 132 laps have been completed out of 188. Dale Earnhardt leads at Talladega. ESPN Speed World is live at Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama as the Winston 500 is going by very rapidly. 135 laps are about to be completed. Dale Earnhardt is your leader.
Put Dick Trickle in 3rd spot. He and Mark Martin able to get by Jeff Burton, and Burton now back in 4th.
Let's take a look at the Bud race recap. Oh, some close competition there. Dale Earnhardt leading 69 in the first 132. 22 lead changes, no cautions. The fastest NASCAR Winston Cup race ever run was Bill Elliott, and we are on record over that. 186.2, the old record. The average speed so far today, 187.9.
Did you see Kenny Wallace? He is a lap down there, isn't he, in the Square D car?
Yes, he is, baby. 27th position.
Take a look at the guys that have led at least 1 lap. Marlin is out of the race. There are some more drivers that have scored the 5 bonus points. This is a long list. Michael Waltrip and Ken Schrader also have been at the front. The attrition, well, it's not been all that bad. Walt Burton, Jeff Bodine, and Sterling Marlin, the 3 cars that are out of the race so far.
It's only been bad for those 3 cars.
Yep. John Kernan has been watching this great run by Dick Trickle, who's now 3rd.
Hey, Bob, let me tell you something about that car. That was a car that Dick had a crash with down at Daytona. They had to replace the front clip. In fact, that car has been wrecked several times. The guys here on the team say, hey, every time it gets wrecked, they put a new body on it or a new fender, whatever they have to fix. It comes right out of the box and runs really well. And remember, Dick doesn't really have a crew chief. He's doing the crew chiefing and driving duties from inside the cockpit of his car. They short pitted on the first stop, short pitted on the second stop. They still need that one more stop to go to the rest of the distance. So if they can't get someone to pit with them, and they have to pit a few laps before everybody else, that could spell disaster for them. So keep an eye on Trickle.
We will. The side-by-side battle there for a moment was for 9th position. Terry Labonte has 9th, and now the 10th place is Jeff Gordon.
This is Ricky Craven. He's in 26th spot, a lap down as Morgan Shepherd pulls up on the outside.
They've been racing all day. Those two cars have been together just almost the whole race. They and Dale Jarrett were running together. When the lead pack of cars came by, and these two were able to hook on. Jarrett was not able to, and so
they are battling for position. Neither one of them on the lead lap, but they are battling for the 26th spot. So we may be seeing the fastest NASCAR Winston Cup race ever run. Bill Elliott in 1985 here at the Winston 500 has the all-time record of 186.2. Going almost 188 miles an hour for an average.
See, Jeff Burton just got shuffled back down the inside. But I'll tell you, he's had an amazing run with a backup car. And the Exide battery is Ford number 99.
Only had 1 hour practice yesterday afternoon.
All clear. Here we come up.
He's telling his driver, all clear, you can come up.
Has more on Jeff Burton.
I was talking to Jeff Burton yesterday. He said, you know, NASCAR may have actually done us a favor by mistake by not letting us run the car we brought back with a new body on it. It may have helped us so the car not only wouldn't fit the templates, it wasn't very fast, so it wasn't doing us any service anyway. We bought this car out of the trunk, the car from Daytona, and the guys worked hard. And hey, we may have actually gotten a break by virtue of NASCAR outlawing the car we wanted to run.
He's running well. Meanwhile, Trickle is the one getting shuffled back.
See Dave Marcus up there in the car number 71. Dave is a lap down. He is in 28th position.
And look at this. Battle for the lead. Mark Martin tries to get by on the outside. He's got Ernie Irvin with him and put Mark Martin back in front. And also John Andretti. The Fords are teamed up on the outside.
And that Chevrolet of Earnhardt hung out to dry on the inside.
Michael Waltrip goes by as well in the sit-go forward. Jeff Gordon trying to push him on by Earnhardt.
There you see the top 4 are Fords, then a couple of Chevys, a couple of more Fords, and a Chevy and a Ford.
Well, nobody will let Earnhardt in.
No, there's just
now here's Dave Marcus. Marcus will let him in, surely. Marcus does a lot of testing for the Richard Childress team.
Ricky Craven has gone to the bottom of the racetrack.
Little contact between he and Morgan Shepherd looked like.
Whoa.
That was a 20 car.
Ricky is not on the lead lap. He's 29th. He is battling for position there with the 81 car and the 20 and the 16. So battles all over the racetrack, and Dick Trickle is coming in after running 3rd. He did drop back several positions, and now Trickle heads into the pit area.
2, 1, oh!
Spotter counting him down to where his pit stop was. He's changing right side tires, getting the car full of fuel. 15.
Speed, Dick, watch your speed now.
And Trickle keeps it under the speed limit and heads back out onto the racetrack. 142 laps completed. And Mark Martin is now up front here in the Winston 500. There you see the front cars. Mark Martin showing the way over Michael Waltrip, Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, and John Andretti. Well, Michael Waltrip here is looking very, very good, and he has never won a NASCAR Winston Cup race.
Well, the points race, he won the Winston last year at Charlotte, of course, which comes up next weekend.
Jeff Gordon in third spot.
And Dick Trickle has gone a lap down because of the pit stop. He's back in 24th. Here's a Napa field summary.
Trickle was fortunate. He pitted without a dance partner, but as he exited the pit road, he was able to get back with his lead group. So they're pulling him along as fast as anybody on the racetrack.
So once they make their pit stops, that'll put him back in sequence. And at least they'll have their pit stops coming up here before too long. Another 10 or 12 laps maybe.
Everyone's trying to figure out the drivers, the crew chiefs, the spotters. Everyone's trying to figure out what can we do to win this thing? Where can we put our, what can we do to put our driver in front? Does our driver need to be in front? Do we have the fastest car? What can we do to win? Now the figuring starts.
It's the first thing they got to do when they make that green flag pit stop is make an awfully good pit stop. And that driver get in and out the pits good.
Mark Martin continues to show the way. His victory here came at this race in 1995. Here comes Jeff Gordon to pass Michael Waltrip. Terry Labonte's right behind him, and John Andretti is going to go down low and also on the train. Here is Bill Weber as Rusty is in.
Oh, he's got to back up. He's got to back up.
He's over the line. They're going to have to make him back up, and they've already taken the rear tire off the right side, so Rusty's going to have to back up after they put that tire on. This may get a 10-second count. Wait for Rusty to back up. Now they have backed him up. This day has just been a disaster for these guys. Go back to the right side. Rusty had to pit early because he didn't get all his fuel on his first pit stop. So Rusty's sitting there. They won't hold him. He's away, but well, the penalty was, just having to push him back, and that cost him valuable seconds. And that pretty much erases any chance he might have had today.
Yeah, that cost him that 10 seconds you were talking about, Bill. And the leaders are going to come by. Well, no, he'll get back out in the lead lap, okay, but
look how quickly that pack closed up and went around. Wow. So with 148 laps complete, we await the last round of pit stops. They're coming up shortly. Mark Martin leading. It's the Talladega Super Speedway in Alabama, the site of the Winston 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race. There are the top four as seen from high overhead. The shot courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam. Mark Morton, Jeff Gordon, John Andretti, Terry Labonte, Jimmy Spencer, and Dale Earnhardt.
If he goes back, if that copter goes back about 3 more cars, you'll see the Pennzoil Pontiac.
Yeah, the Pennzoil Pontiac is having a great run here. Johnny Benson is in the top 10 right now in 9th.
Bob, I mentioned a minute ago when Rusty Wallace came out of the pits that he would stay in the lead lap. That was not correct because he was over a half a lap behind when he came into the pit. So he is 1 lap down now in 32nd position.
Here's an MCI serial scoring on Mark Martin, lap 119. He was in 14th position, then moved up to 7th, 3rd, and then took the lead. And he's still there at 152 laps completed. Preparing down on pit road for pit stops. Should be coming up very, very shortly.
And they're only going to put in as much fuel as they need to make it to the end of the race. Can they do it with 1 can? Do they have to put up that 2nd can? If they do, then it's going to take more time. They want to get to the point they can make it on 11 gallons of fuel. That's how much 1 can holds, 11 gallons. Probably not change tires. Dump in the gas, and as quickly as it's gone, the car will leave the pit.
At least if they do, we've had reports that some of them might be changing. Bill Elliott and his crew is coming in. The back pack of cars. Elliott is back in 16th position before he came into the pits. Let's go to the pits and Bill Weber.
Mike Skinner is in. Right side tires need a little over a can of fuel to make it to the end here. Cleaning the windshield, working on the right side. Jerry's in Bill Elliott's pit.
No tire change, fuel only for awesome Bill Elliott. They plan to come in with the car number 31. He is down and away, Elliott is down and away. These cars leaving for their final pit stop as they head back to turn 1.
There goes Joe Nemechek out and Darrell Waltrip. The 37 car of Jeremy Mayfield, John Kernan.
Pit stop on the pit stop before this last one. When Jeremy left the pits, the transmission started grinding, so he only has 4th gear. So it's having to really baby that car out, baby the clutch, feather the clutch to get that car going. It really makes it hard also to get up to speed. Jeff Burton's pit board is out now. We expect him on pit road shortly, along with Bobby Labonte.
And look at this coming down. Wow. About a dozen cars head for the pits for hopefully the final time this afternoon. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jeff Burton, who has led this race, is in. Remember, they've changed right side tires the first 2 pit stop, left side tires going on second can of fuel going in. Let's go down to Bill Weber's pit.
Earnhardt has right side tires. They need a can plus a quarter and a half a can more. Earnhardt squeals the wheels. He's on his way. Gordon is out. The 99 is out. The 18, the 23. The 21 is out. Jerry Punch.
Right side tires on Jeff Gordon, but fuel only on the car number 98 of John Andretti. But it took much longer to put fuel in the 98 than it took to change tires on the 24 car. He took about 6 seconds longer to get out of the pits than did the car number 24.
Boy, Jeff Burton.
He really had a run coming out of the pits in that 99 car. He passed about a half a dozen cars between the end of pit road and going into turn 1.
He sure did. He was on the apron and then some.
Earnhardt drove around turn 1 and 2 on the apron of the racetrack.
Really?
Because that is the closest way, the shortest way. He drove on the apron. As we saw Jeff Burton going the corner on the apron, Earnhardt went all the way around the corner on the apron.
The 28 is in, Jerry.
Final pit stop for Ernie Irvan. Fuel only, no tires. They clean the windshield. He is down and away in just about 4.5 seconds. I hope they got enough fuel in the car 28 to make it the distance.
Ernie had taken the lead the last time when everybody else came in. He came out, he took over the lead, and he might still be in the lead, but I think Jeff Gordon's going to be passing here right now.
There goes Jeff. Here is the exit out of the pits.
You would see Jeff Gordon coming out of the pits, the first car off pit road. We see look at Earnhardt in the grass.
And look at Jeff Burton down on the inside. See how many cars he passes coming out through there? The 99 car down on the inside. He's still passing them going into turn 1.
Now watch Earnhardt. He's also going to turn left to drive on the apron of the racetrack. So that 99 looked like he had a good groove to me.
Well, Jeff Gordon has himself a rather comfortable lead, although the drafting line is probably going to close up to him. But Mark Martin is in second place, John Andretti third, then Jeff Burton and Terry Labonte. Jeff Gordon leading 156 of 188 complete. Back at Talladega, and Jeff Gordon, remember how I talked about a big lead that he had? Well, not only does he have the lead, not have the lead, but he's back to 4th, and he has been back to 5th or 6th. Something happened to him going into the 3rd corner a few laps ago.
All of a sudden, going in the corner, it just looked like he went to the top of the racetrack like the engine shut off or something. Mark Martin and 4 or 5 other cars go by, but now he's back up to speed.
Mark Martin has the lead, as you can see. John Andretti, Terry Labonte 2nd and 3rd, and then comes Jeff Gordon. Bobby Labonte is running 5th.
Jimmy Spencer is 6th, and Dale Earnhardt is 7th.
come Jeff Burton, Johnny Benson, and Ricky Rudd rounding out the top 10.
First 7 cars are nose to tail. 8, 9, and 10 are about 100 yards behind.
Yeah, they're close enough that they can snip that draft, certainly.
Mark Martin, we salute as the man of the race. He won the race last weekend at Sears Point. His first win in 43 races, has 3 consecutive top 5s, and True Value is donating $1,000 to the Motor Racing Outreach, one of the many charities that Mark Martin supports throughout the years. And a tip of the hat to Mark Martin for being True Value man of the race. And he could be the man of the race in this one, couldn't he?
He is at the moment, because he's out front.
Camera mounted behind Mark Martin as you see him up and down.
That'll give you a workout.
Yeah, that look as easy as the one we saw with Jeff Gordon a while ago.
That's for second spot. You see Labonte on the inside.
Is Gordon going to go with the 98 car? No, he's going to go high.
He thought he would probably go with his teammate, but he did not.
Sure didn't. Now he's going to hang his teammate out to dry till Jimmy Spencer comes in. Well, Spencer.
Look at Spencer.
He just got a run off that corner and moved down to the inside.
Man.
And Labonte, who was running, what, third just a couple of laps ago, is now going back to 7th spot.
Back of the pack. Boy, that move by Spencer was absolutely awesome.
There's something amiss on Jeff Gordon's car. I don't know exactly what it is.
Well, we'll check it. When we come back from this commercial break, we'll tell you what's going on with Jeff. He seems to be running okay, but at times things just aren't right for him. He's back in 3rd right now. And we've only got 25 more laps to go in this race, being led currently by Mark Martin. We'll be right back. Mark Martin continues to lead here at the Winston 500. Jeff Gordon second, then Bobby Labonte and Dale Earnhardt, your top 4. These overhead shots courtesy of Pennzoil. The copter cam working great this afternoon, as there you see the cars go through the 33 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2.
Jeff Gordon looks to be okay now.
Yep. They're coming up to lap the 46 car Wally Dallenbach, who ran so well in the early going, but he's about to be lapped in 22nd position.
Bob, he was one of those that had a slower pit stop and got back there out of the draft with the lead pack, and that's what it does for you.
Robbie Gordon is in Indianapolis, having already qualified, and is watching this race. Your teammate, the car that you normally drive, Joe Nemechek, is running 18th at the moment.
Still on the lead lap.
Yep. Leaders are in a bit of traffic, weaving their way through. There goes Martin up on the high side. Jeff Gordon follows. Here comes Bobby Labonte right behind Jeff, and they pass the outside pole sitter, the 77 car of Bobby Hillin. He goes 1 lap down. He stayed on the lead lap all this time. There's Nemechek going 1 down.
Bill Elliott about to.
Ooh, wow.
About to get hit, too, wasn't he?
And look at that. Mike Skinner is also about to go a lap down, who ran so well.
Now, this is 16th. Bill Elliott is being shown in 17th position. So they're mowing them down. This group of cars that they're putting this lap on now is reducing the numbers on the lead lap.
Less than 20 laps to go, 19 to go. Whoa, look at that. Nemechek was caught in the middle as Elliott went to the high side.
And we see John Andretti trying his best to get by on the outside. He and Spencer and Terry Labonte.
Lake Speed in the red number 9 there down the inside. Lake's in 19th position, 1 lap down.
Look at Elliott go up high on the racetrack. Got a good run, though. Well, the 88 car of Dale Jarrett had some problems. Apparently ran out of fuel and has gone back now to 36th position. He's 3 laps down. He's been off song from nearly the drop of the green flag, so it has not been a good day for our points leader, and it appears as if he will drop from the top of the list. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Yeah, Bob, during that last round of pit stops, one thing that happened down here in the 3-pit, they were trying to time the fuel. They wanted a full can of gas and then about a quarter of a can, the second can, while they were changing the right side tires. Well, they did spill a lot of fuel down here. Now, the crew is confident they can reach the finish, but how close their measurement was is what comes into concern. So something to watch down the stretch. Make sure Dale Earnhardt does have enough fuel to reach the finish. If he doesn't, it would be an imperfect ending to what so far for them has been a perfect day.
I tell you, that's something you don't want to do, is run out of fuel in a situation like Earnhardt is in right now, because all of a sudden the engine quits running and someone's going to run over him from the back.
Here's Jerry Punch with more on Dale Jarrett.
Well, with Dale's Ford running as bad as it is, what the crew was trying to do was keep him out there as long as they possibly could. They were getting about 7.5 miles per gallon with down on the, having lost a cylinder, down on 7 cylinders. And by keeping him on the racetrack, they hoped they could possibly get a caution flag. If they had gotten the yellow, they would have gained a lot of spots and possibly a lot of points. And unfortunately, it ran out of fuel as he crossed the start-finish line and had to coast all the way around and then pit for gas and go back out.
There's the lead draft, 5 cars in it, and the laps are clicking off. When they cross the line, there will be 16 to go in the Winston 500. ESPN Speed World live at Talladega Superspeedway for the Winston 500. Being brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you that fresh beer tastes better. And by the Ford F-150, strength after strength after strength. We're getting down to it here. The closing laps on 175 completed. Want to remind you about the hockey game at 7:30, Game 5 of the Western Conference semifinals, the Oilers and the Avalanche on ESPN2. Tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern Time, over on the Deuce as the march to the Stanley Cup continues. Well, can Mark Martin make it 2 in a row? He's headed that way.
And Dale Earnhardt has moved by Bobby Labonte into the 3rd spot.
The last time we had a caution-free race was in 1992 in North Wilkesboro. In October, we have never had a caution-free race here at Talladega.
And Jeff Bodine won that race.
And it was on a Monday, wasn't
it?
Yeah,
I think it was.
Rained out.
Yeah. Well, it is very much undetermined here who's going to win this thing. There are the lead 5 cars. And Jerry has more on Jeff Gordon's situation as he clings to 2nd.
Well, Bob, Ray Everett and his crew chief said this race could come down to a final last lap shootout. How many times does that happen here at Talladega? Well, almost every year. And to make sure they've got every bit of information available to them, just a minute ago sent 2 crew members, one up pit road and one down pit road, as additional spotters. And I asked Ray, why do you do that? He said, well, Doc, there are some blind spots that the 2 spotters upstairs can't see. And so if these guys are up pit road or down pit road, they'll know what part of the racetrack is clear. And we need every little bit of information we can get for Jeff on that final lap so he can make his move.
There you see them passing Rusty Wallace again, putting him 2 laps down now in 30th position.
Rusty's car seems to have lost a cylinder. Something has been out there running by himself, which would make him run slower, but he's running even slower than he could by himself.
Already this year, we have had 3 times that a driver has won 2 races in a row. Gordon won Daytona and Richmond, Jarrett Atlanta Darlington, Gordon Bristol and Martinsville, and Mark Martin may be on his way to doing so again here this afternoon. Here's John Kernan.
Some interesting strategy being played out down here in the pits. I'm in Bobby Labonte's pit. He's running 4th behind Dale Earnhardt. Don Hawk from Earnhardt's team came up and said, hey, Dale said to tell Bobby that when I go, fall in behind and go with me.
Well, he just went, John, on the outside of Jeff Gordon, and Bobby Labonte is trying to follow him right through.
They're going to put Gordon back several spots here.
The plan's working.
Yep.
and that Terry Labonte and Mike Skinner had dropped way back, and now they're going to be able to catch up after this little move right here.
Gordon falls from second to fifth as Dale Earnhardt goes to second, Bobby Labonte third, and Andretti fourth. Andretti's best career finish was a fourth at Michigan.
And watch Earnhardt come off that corner, had a great run on Mark Martin. Martin dove to the inside. Earnhardt went to the outside and zigzagged both those cars down the backstretch. We can see 9 laps to go.
Mark knows that he's got to try to hang on to the lead. If he gets past, he could go back to 5th or 6th just like Jeff Gordon did. So he knows that he needs to stay out there if at all possible.
The Saturday National race just a couple of weeks ago, Steve Clark was in the very same position in the number 3 car, the AC Delco car, trying to pass the 60. And when Dixie car, Earnhardt was in the truck coaching him.
That's right. So now he takes his own advice here. Here's the interval. You can see how tight they are. A little over a half second separating the top 5.
So Morgan Shepherd and Ricky Craven just get up there out of their way and let them go at it. They're running in 27th and 28th position, just went 2 laps down.
Coming down for 7 laps to go.
Has been selected as the Western Auto Mechanic of the race. Car. John Andretti is in 4th position. He started on the pole.
John has run a good, smart race here today. Stayed right up there with the leaders all day and in position to win.
You've been wondering what's going on in the second pack. Not a great deal. That's the interval from the back of the first pack to the front of the second pack.
And that Terry, what we're talking about, the second pack, is Terry Labonte and Jimmy Spencer. The cars that are running there, they are Labonte and Spencer. They're catching them, but they've got to catch them and pass them in just 6 laps. It'll be very difficult to get Mark Martin by.
This will complete lap number 182. There it is, 6 laps to go. Here's Jerry.
Yesterday in happy hour, Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt went out and hooked up a couple of times in the draft to see who was going to be the strongest. I happened to be standing on the Jack Roush truck beside Steve Mill, and both times Mark Martin tried to hold off the 3 car, and Earnhardt made a move in turn 3, came down low in turn 4, and zipped on by. Both times Martin tried to hold him off but couldn't, and then Mark cued the radio and said, man, that 3 car is strong.
Well, we're on record speed. You're watching the fastest NASCAR Winston Cup race in history. The record set in 1985 by Bill Elliott is about to go in the record books as an outdated record because the average speed right now is 188.175. And there are 5 laps to go.
That was before the days of the restrictor plates.
Yep. 10 years ago, the bad crash by Bobby Allison occurred, which forced NASCAR to put on the restrictor plate. So that was before the plates came along. Down the backstretch, everybody staying in line here with 4.5 circuits to go. There's the second pack. They're in single file now. Rusty Wallace has taken the Miller Lite forward behind the wall.
They're going to have to really be organized to catch that group in front of them.
Well, guys, experts, when do you make your move?
I think Earnhardt's been trying to make the move. I think a couple of laps ago when he came off turn 4 down the backstretch, I think that's when he tried to make the move.
Yeah, I don't think you want to wait till that last lap slingshot deal like we used to see in this business. I don't think it works as well now. But the wheels are turning. And
week at Sears Point. Mark Martin won for the first time in 42 races. The last time Mark Martin won a race prior to last week was in Charlotte in 1994. And you know when he won before that? The week before at North Wilkesboro.
Jerry Punch.
Talk about keeping your sense of humor. That time by, Mark Martin came to the radio and said, guys, I got two GM cars behind me. I got no help, so I'm going to tighten these seatbelts as tight as I can get them.
And Earnhardt looks both ways, outside, inside. No move yet. There'll be 2 to go when they hit the line.
And that second group has caught up to them now. Terry Labonte has just gradually moved right up there. They got a little momentum going as they draft up on them. I doubt if it'll be momentum enough to get to the front, but it might get Terry Labonte a few positions.
And there's no slow cars in front to create a problem for anyone, I don't think. Kenny Wallace is the next car, but he does have some drafting help. I don't think these cars will catch him in the next lap and a half.
Now the Bud car and the 31 car, they're a lap down with the Craven and Mike Skinner. They're being shown in the 16th. Well, the Bud car's 2 laps down, actually.
All right, they come through corner number 4. Into the tri-oval. The start-finish line, of course, is down toward turn 1. And the white flag is about to come out. 1 lap to go for Mark Martin. Earnhardt's right behind him, then Bobby Labonte, then John Andretti and Jeff Gordon.
And Doyle Ford, for the last time at Talladega, waves the white. He announced today he's retiring after the Coca-Cola 600. What can they do? Here they come. Backstretch, last lap.
Let's see what movement someone makes, if any. Earnhardt takes no action at the moment. Everybody staying in line.
Yeah, he's got it to the floorboard, Bob. I don't know what he can do.
Now he looks to the inside slightly in turn number 3, but there isn't a great deal he can do. He has to stay tucked in behind Mark Martin. They come through turn number 3, headed for turn number 4. Now on to the tri-oval. Earnhardt looks to the inside. Jeff Gordon is going outside, now inside. No moves here as Mark Martin comes down and makes it 2 in a row. Martin wins the Winston 500. Earnhardt, Bobby Labonte, John Andretti, and Jeff Gordon finished in that order. Mark Martin started 18th. It's his 20th NASCAR Winston Cup career victory and his second win at Talladega and second in a row. And look at this scramble to the line. Jerry Punch.
Well, Jimmy Finnick just got an orange-flavored Gatorade bath, and Jimmy, that's got to be cool. Congratulations, man.
I'll tell you, Mark Martin is something else. This whole Valvoline team with Jack Roush and Steve Neal, this is something else. This is unbelievable. 2 in a row.
Won't let these guys go to victory lane and celebrate. Finney's going to wring out what's left of his Valvoline uniform. They dumped an entire can of orange Gatorade, but he doesn't mind. Hey, they won at Talladega.
Wow, what a great ride for Mark Martin last week, winning at Sears Point here at Talladega.
Okay, Mark, we're back.
It was a long time coming at the end of that winless streak, but now he's won 2 in a row. Mark Martin. Here's the McDonald's Winner's Circle interview and Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Jack Roush over to give his driver a huge hug. T. Wayne Robertson here, president of RJR Sports Marketing. Hey, Mark, congratulations. Outstanding 2 in a row.
Woo, look out, Charlotte, man. Here we come. This week, Matt and Arlene got to be here. We had to do it with them here. They weren't there last week. To give Valvoline, Cummins, and Bugles, and Bosch, and Ford, and Goodyear, and all these folks a little bit to brag about. No fluke last week. We had a good race car today, and I couldn't believe that we stayed in front there. I just knew something was going to go wrong, but it worked out.
Oh, come on in, Matt and Arlene. Come on in and enjoy this victory. How about your daddy, Matt? Hey, we talked about happy hour yesterday when you went out with a 3-car, and a couple times you tried to hold him off, and he came zipping by you. We were wondering if you're going to do it again today.
Well, he had a real fast car. I was pretty sure that he could do something with us. He actually got his best runs right when he got in second place. He about had me a couple times. Then after that, it settled in. I knew if I did the right things on the racetrack, I'd keep him behind me then.
How about it? 42 race winless streak ends at Sonoma. Now 2 in a row for Mark Martin as Mark, Matt, and Arlene Martin celebrate in victory lane, having won the 28th Winston 500.
He started 18th, and that sets a record because the lowest starting position of a Winston 500 winner previously was Ernie Irvin, who started 16th in 1993. Congratulations to Mark. Back at Talladega, where Mark Martin has made it 2 in a row, winning the Winston 500. Coming up next, Senior PGA Golf, the Home Depot Invitational from Charlotte, North Carolina. That's coming up next here on ESPN. And with Mark Martin winning, the second place finisher was Dale Earnhardt in a great run. Let's go down now to Bill Weber.
You rolling? Well, Dale Earnhardt jumps out of the Goodwin Chevy with a big smile. You had a great Jay. How about your finish?
Well, it'd have been a bigger smile if I'd have passed Mark, but we tried him several times, but he was just too strong by himself. And, you know, an 18 car tried to help me, and, you know, we just sat there in line. That's all you could do. If I could have passed him, I dang sure would. Larry and the guys sure do need a win, and I got to hand it to them guys. They worked hard, and they bounced back every race. They've worked hard every race, so we'll see what we can do with them.
Frustrating at times, Dale, but a great run today.
Well, that's true, but you know, Sackett's great, but win's greater. So we'll keep on working on it and try to work on Charlotte. We try to go to Charlotte and win that World 600, maybe that Winston too.
And points today.
Well, I don't know what we gained. We gained some on Jarrett, and that's the important thing. The problem is they all gained on him.
Indeed, Dale Earnhardt did move up one position in the point standings, and when we come back, we will talk with the third place finisher here this afternoon, Bobby Labonte. Again, Mark Martin is your winner here, back at Talladega in a moment. ESPN Speed World welcomes you back to Talladega Superspeedway, where Mark Martin has won the Winston 500. It's all being brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil for a clean running engine, by the legendary Firebird Trans Am from Pontiac, and by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. Well, tonight at 7 o'clock over on The Deuce, get caught up on all the activity from the world of motorsports on RPM tonight. They're qualifying for the Indianapolis 500 pole today. You'll have highlights from the NASCAR Busch Series race in Loudon, and the CART Series is qualifying for tomorrow's race down in Brazil. All that on RPM tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on The Deuce. Here's John Kernan with third place Bobby Labonte.
Well, Bobby, a great run for you and your team today, but there at the end, it looked like those 5 cars were all pretty much equal, and nobody wanted to step out of line, did they?
Well, yeah, in a way. You know, the Interstate Pontiac ran great all day, and, you know, guys in the engine room did a great job. It's just one of those deals there at the end. You know, my best chance was to help Earnhardt. And, I mean, it just worked out. The times I could help him, when he was in a position to pass, I'd pull up to him and give him a little boost, but it wasn't enough. And then the times he was, you know, kind of was going, I wasn't able to help him. So it just everybody was at their best right there at the end. You know, I mean, I was going to go with him wherever he went because I figured, you know, I was in line, and you pass the car by going with that guy sometimes, especially when there's only 5 cars running like that.
And especially when it's Dale Earnhardt who you're going to follow. Bobby Labonte, a third place finish today.
All right, good run by Bobby Labonte. You can see the crowd start to file out here at Talladega. When we come back, we're going to talk to that man right there who started on the pole and finished 4th, and we'll talk with the 5th place finisher, Jeff Gordon. So stay with us. Back at Talladega Superspeedway, the race is over. Mark Martin wins, and a reminder that coming up next here on ESPN, Senior PGA Golf, the Home Depot Invitational from Charlotte, North Carolina will follow our coverage. Finishing 4th in today's race, John Andretti. Here's Bill Weber.
And that ties your career best, a 4th place finish. That one came on Father's Day, this one on Mother's Day weekend. So obviously those are important dates to you.
Need more relatives, need more. It's, you know, it's obviously a great day for RCA and our team. And, you know, we knew that we had a strong car here. We thought at Sears Point we would run better, you know, and we did run good until we got spun out. But, you know, this is a great comeback for us, and it's going to surely help our season, hopefully.
Teams look for races like this to build on, John. This certainly could lay the foundation for you guys.
Well, it's, you know, it's always good to have a good race, you know, and then you can go off and feel good about it for a while. But, you know, it certainly is not the answer. You know, it gets us closer to it, and I know that we're going to work harder and harder at it. I got a great team, and it's just little things, and it's not people. We got a wonderful set of people and great engine program and great cars, so it's only just little things that are keeping us from being at the front every week.
Any extracurricular activities in the coming weeks, or strictly stock car racing, John?
I don't know. I think there's a sprint car race in Terre Haute, and while I'm up there, the speedway's not too far away, I guess, but I don't know what's going to happen. I need to talk to AJ, and AJ certainly has his priorities with his Scott Sharp and Davey Hamilton, and I have mine in Winston Cup. I guess if we can get those sorted out, then maybe we can solve the rest.
All right, well, congratulations on your great run here at Talladega.
Thanks a lot, appreciate it.
Okay, that's John Andretti. Let's go to Dr. Punch.
Well, it was somewhat of a roller coaster today for Jeff Gordon, who ended up finishing 5th. And Jeff, late in the race, you sort of got shuffled.
Yeah, you know, it was a good day for us to finish top 5, but I certainly didn't want to get shuffled back. I don't know if anybody had anything for Mark. The leader, whoever it might be, is really hard to get by in the draft when you got 4 or 5 cars there. So, you know, Earnhardt, he kind of snookered me there, and I learned a little something. Hopefully that won't ever happen again, but we still had great pit stops and had a great run.
Well, the good news is, even though you got shuffled back and finished 5th, you gained a lot of points.
Yeah, we did. I noticed that Jarrett was having some problems out there, and, you know, I didn't gain much on Terry. He and I were right there together there at the end, but, you know, it's good now. The 2 Hendrick cars move in, I think I heard 1, 2 in the points. So, you know, consistent finishes, that's what we need. And we need to do it again next week in Charlotte. And, if you can't win, boy, a top 5 is real good.
Fortunately, today was an atypical Talladega. Safe race, no caution flags. Everybody on their P's and Q's. Any idea why this race ran like it did?
I figured because it was an off weekend, everybody was a little more relaxed. I don't know. I wish I knew, because I wish we could do it, you know, every weekend and here every time we come here. But it was a good, clean day. That was the most important thing, is to see a safe race. And, you know, the fewer cautions, the better, because anytime you see a caution here, it could be a scary moment. So, you know, I know a lot of guys were really giving and taking out there for positions, and it paid off with a safe race.
How appropriate a safe one on Mother's Day weekend, Bob?
He finished 5th, and that's his 8th top 5 finish of 1997 out of 10 races. He is 2nd in the point standings now. There's the new Winston Cup points leader, and we'll be back to talk with him in a moment. Beautiful area around Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama. The airport right behind the backstretch becomes very active now. Terry Labonte takes over the points lead. Jeff Gordon 39 behind. Dale Jarrett drops to 3rd, 52 behind. Everybody else staying pretty close with Mark Martin, Bobby Labonte, Dale Earnhardt moving up 1, Burton down 1, Rudd up 2, Waltrip up 3, and Bobby Hamilton down 1 at the conclusion of this race. John Kernan is standing by with the new points leader.
And, you know, early this morning I talked to Terry Labonte before the race, and Terry told me he wasn't quite sure exactly how he would run today. Comes through with a 6th place finish, takes over the points lead, but boy, you had to fight your way through traffic all day, didn't you?
Well, I tell you what, it was a good day for us. You know, our Kellogg Chevy ran good, handled great all day long, and starting that far back, I really didn't know what to expect, and we were able to just work our way to the front. I wish we would have been the top 5, or even I wish we would have won the race, of course, but I'm pretty happy with the top 10.
Top 10 puts him into the points lead. He is the defending Winston Cup champion. Let's go over to Bill Weber.
Jimmy Spencer, a great run, a strong finish for you today, and he jumped up 5 spots in the points.
Yeah, Bill, you know, well, we were 41st in the points, and now I think we're like 25th or 6th, so it's a big shot in the arm for the Camel team. I mean, Donnie Wingo and the guys work so hard, and we know we got a really, really good race team. Wouldn't trade them for anybody in the garage area because they believe in Jimmy Spencer, and Jimmy Spencer believes in them, and it's finally paying off for us. You know, they built me a lot of great race cars. We've not had no luck. We had some luck today. If we had a little bit more luck, we would have finished in the top 5. We'll take the Camel Ford, 7th place, and pretty excited about going into Winston next week.
Okay, and he runs good at Charlotte, everybody.
Oh, man, wait a minute. Oh, man, happy Mother's Day.
Right. Happy Mother's Day on behalf of Jimmy Spencer and all of us tomorrow. Here are the unofficial results. The yellow arrows indicate the guys that led a lap, and the double, the guy that led the most laps. And this was, as was indicated, a very atypical race. All that worry we had about a big crash, no big deal, and it was the fastest race in the history of Winston Cup.
Thank goodness for that. No big crash. All the first 15 were in the lead lap, and you can see here on the second page, 16th through 30th, down through 26th, or 1 lap down, and then you got 4 cars that are 2 laps down.
And I echo those statements. I'm sick of seeing those big caution flags, big crashes, and 10 or 15 cars involved. we might have bent some fenders today. We might have some tire marks, but that's it. No cautions.
That's right. Everybody is healthy, and that's the best news of all. Mark Martin, your champion for the second time in a row. A lot of auto racing tomorrow on ESPN2 at 8:15 in the morning. The Grand Prix of Monaco Formula One race. 1 o'clock on the Deuce, RPM today. Over on ABC at 2:30 Eastern Time, the kart race from Brazil, the Rio 400. And then RPM tonight on ESPN2 at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. So coming up next is Senior PGA Golf, the Home Depot Invitational from Charlotte, North Carolina. Stay tuned for that. It's coming right up. We thank our people that provided the Pennzoil Copter Cam overhead. Some great shots coming all afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bob Jenkins for Benny Parsons, John Kernan, Bill Weber, Dr. Jerry Punch, and now we can say Dr. Ned Jarrett. We thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again. Congratulations to Mark Martin on his win here in the Winston 500. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Stay tuned for golf coming up next from Charlotte, North Carolina.